breathes from the edge of the centre circle and walk off to the side of the pitch. Manchester United against Luton Town, live on BBC Radio 5 Live and also on BBC Sounds. Impeccable, Michael Brown.
Yeah, it really was. But now, actually, Manchester United have to try and find a way to really set the tone at the start of this game, put pressure on Luton Town wherever they possibly can, because they've certainly not been good enough in the last few weeks. And this is surely, Deno, a game that they've got to go on and win convincingly, score lots of goals and really sort of change the mood all around Old Trafford and give some confidence back into the dressing room.
Of course, there had been talk of a planned protest, an anti-Glazer protest demanding the full sale of the club, but we're led to believe that it was quite a low turnout from those that did voice their protest, as now the sets of supporters turn to backing the teams here, the stadium here at Old Trafford, as we are underway. And Manchester United in their red shirts and white shorts, defending the Stretford end, playing from left to right, and Luton Town will no doubt be buoyed from the point that they collected against Liverpool that was so almost 3 points last Sunday. So hardly surprising that Rob Edwards has gone with an unchanged side. Wrexham are off to a flying start. They lead Gillingham by 1-0 in League Two. Wrexham unbeaten in 10 games in all competitions. As Maguire, this is an 8th successive start for Harry Maguire for Manchester United. He's certainly turned things around, hasn't he?
He has. He's been given that opportunity. At one point you never thought he was going to be at the football club. He's waited patiently. He's been contributing in a big way, that's for certain. But Manchester United started well, controlling the possession, really advanced positions. Eriksen just sitting at the base, McTominay getting that licence to go and join Bruno Fernandes and get up the pitch.
Grimsby 0, Morecambe 1 is the latest score in League Two, and an early goal at Selhurst Park. Chris Coles.
What a start for Everton, who lead at Crystal Palace. Vitaly Mykolenko, his second goal in as many games. Jack Harrison found him. There was Mykolenko just under the crossbar to head home. Palace 0, Everton 1.
I think he scored in 7 minutes last week against Brighton, so he scored in back-to-back games, only his third goal for the club. But Mykolenko has given Everton the lead. That little bit of a revival continues to gather pace for Sean Dyche and everybody connected with Everton Football Club. Manchester United, they don't do early goals, or they haven't done so far this season in the Premier League, although they're seeing a lot of the ball now. Dalot, Rashford, as he was in Copenhagen, playing on the right-hand side because of Garnacho on the left. Back with Maguire, who switches play out towards that far side, and it's eventually brought under control by Garnacho, who now comes in field off that left touch line, and back to Eriksen as Luton Town just drop off at the moment. Rashford with the cross, block comes in from Obeni, and then Doherty will clear the ball away for Luton Town.
Yeah, you can see Luton have decided just to sit back in that back five set up, 2 midfield players just in front, just trying to protect wherever possible. Nakamba being the one right in front of the sort of the 3 centre backs. United are allowed the space around the defensive area just to rotate it around, but they're going to have to really do it quick. They're going to have to get it wide. Garnacho, Rashford, the good forward runs, but Luton will just be happy as long as they stay right in front of them.
Garnacho on that far side, the left. Hasn't been a good start for the new Bradford City manager, Graham Alexander. His team have fallen behind at Valley Parade in League Two. Bradford 0, Barrow 1 is a latest score. 0-0, 3 minutes played here on BBC Radio 5 Live. And the clear blue skies as Eriksen, very deep, out towards Rashford. Goes on ahead of him is Dalot. Dalot now holds off the challenge of Ted and Mengi. Of course, they've got Mengi in part of their lineup. They've also got Chong on the bench, who both at Manchester United earlier on in their careers, as Garnacho collects that ball on that far side to the left and wins a corner for Manchester United.
Yeah, he does really well, very positive when he gets on the ball, tries to check right then left, tries to get the ball across, just deflected for a corner kick. But now the aerial threat come forward. Maguire certainly will be a target for Manchester United.
So it's a corner kick, far side to left. Bruno Fernandes is going to take it. They've also got the option of the the short ball. Reguilon has gone across to that far side, but Bruno Fernandes says not required. Instead, he swings over that ball now, falls to Maguire with his back to goal, and then there was a foul there by Maguire on the marvellous Nakamba, and that will be a free kick to Crystal Palace. Penalty at Selhurst Park. Chris Coles.
Penalty to Crystal Palace, an immediate chance to equalise, and it's the returning Eberechi Eze. He won it, he'll take it, he'll score it. Rolled into the bottom left-hand corner. They badly missed him, and he has shown why. What a start to this game. Crystal Palace 1, Everton 1.
Wicket at the cricket, Adam Mountford.
The dangerous Iftikhar Ahmed dismissed by Moeen Ali, another one for him. Pakistan 145 for 6. They need 193 and 119 balls.
Commentary continues on Sports Extra. They're checking a possible penalty for handball in the Luton Town penalty area, but it's been dismissed now because our referee is Graham Scott. Robert Jones is back in the Stockley Park for the VAR today, and Kaminsky's ready to take it. Crawley 0, Accrington 1 is the latest score. So 1-1 at Selhurst Park. That's been a lively start. Arsenal 0, Burnley 0. Wolves 2, Tottenham Hotspur 1 is how it finished at Molineux. And at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland 3, Birmingham City 1. That's 5 without a win since Wayne Rooney took charge. And in League One, the early kick-off, Peterborough United beat Cambridge United by 5-0. Let's get an update from Arsenal then, shall we? John Southall.
Arsenal 0, Burnley 0, first chance of the game. Corner on the right, Gabriel with a header actually came off his shoulder and wide of the post. Arsenal dominating possession, 0-0.
Here is Eriksson, back out towards that far side. Lindelof strides forward. Reguilon high up the pitch. Ball wouldn't go with him, and Townsend gets a foot into the challenge. Update from the tennis, Russell Fuller.
A spectacular collapse by Jodie Burrage on her debut for Great Britain in the Billie Jean King Cup. She's lost 6 games in a row to lose the first set of the first match, 6-4 to Sweden. Meanwhile, Jack Draper 3-2 down on serve in the deciding set of the Sofia final against Adrian Manarino.
Fleetwood lead Exeter by a goal to nil. League One comes to Rashford, and he's hit that high and early, and he's skied it well wide and over the top, but it really wouldn't settle down for him, would it, Michael Brown?
No, it wouldn't come down. Long direct pass, which you said they're going to try and do with those runners in behind Luton wherever possible. As Rashford goes and just supports it. The ball was sort of headed back into his path. He could have waited, could have took a touch. He rushes it and puts it right over the bar.
Kaminsky then waits to take the goal kick for Luton Town. 6.5 minutes played, goalless in the early stages here on BBC Radio 5 Live, wherever you are in the world. Always a pleasure to have your company on the BBC World Service, and yet to have any notable incidents in this fixture so far, but there has been a goal at Southampton in the Championship. Becky Ives.
Southampton 1, West Brom 0. Will Smallbone, the initial shot was saved. He was there for the deflection. It was saved off the line, but the ball was deemed to have crossed the line. Therefore, Southampton 1, West Brom 0.
Southampton going well, looking to extend their unbeaten 7-match run in the Championship. Reguilon far side. Ball played back to Lindelof. The 2 changes that the home side have made here today, both in force. Wan-Bissaka out through illness. Evans is going to be missing for 4 weeks, and indeed he's just sat a little bit to your left, isn't he? He's in the middle of Tom Heaton and Luke Shaw in the director's box.
Yeah, you know a few people today in the director's box. You're a very popular man, Mr. Dennis, that's for certain.
Thank you for that, Michael. Here is Maguire. Dallow. When Mick Harford gives you a wave, it's customary, you've got to give him a wave back.
Well, you've got to, but you did text him first, so he said he was behind you, but there you go. But Manchester United really controlling the start of this game, possession really good, getting some good forward runs. Just really, that's only one chance that they've had is Rashford so far, and I felt like he could have took a touch, he could have been more patient, Dano.
I was being complimentary, I was telling him that he looked well. Here is Maguire. Here is Lindelof now. Both fullbacks are pushed on for Manchester United. On the far side, it's Reguilon for the left. Fernandes gives it back to Lindelof. Garnacho now takes over. Luton Town, though, defending very, very deep. This is where Manchester United struggle. Can't break teams down. They're essentially a counter-attacking team. And Luton have done their homework. You know, that damning statistic. Manchester United have led for just 29 minutes at home in the Premier League this season. They can't break teams down. It's a real struggle for them. And Eriksson, when Rashford on the right, and the social media feed that we did before, we said, was it going to be a a stroll in the sunshine or a struggle for Manchester United. At the minute, they can't find any room whatsoever. Tranmere lead Forest Green by 1-0. Tranmere Rovers, who've lost their last 4. Rashford, deflected cross. Hoyland couldn't get there. Kaminski made the save. Still that first goal in the Premier League eludes him. Kaminski with a terrific reflex save.
It's a brilliant save down that right-hand side as Maguire just swept it into the right corner. Rashford delivers a great ball right across the 6-yard area. And Hoyland's there just for a simple tap-in. Kaminski, oh, what a save. Made himself really big, put his right hand out, hit it. Good defending after it.
In comes the corner kick, headed out by O'Benny. Cheltenham 0, Wigan 1 is the latest score in League One. Manchester United, though, still have the ball. But Hoyland got a couple of goals in midweek in Copenhagen, so close to getting his first in the Premier League. Here he is now, just couldn't control the ball with his back to goal on the edge of the penalty area. Tried to turn, he tries to win it back. Luton can't get out, goes out towards Rashford. But just coming across to deal with it, his Osho puts it out of play for a throw. There's been a goal at Portman Road. Flo Pollock.
Ipswich 0, Swansea 1. Ipswich couldn't clear from a set piece. It was chipped back in. A header from Jay Fulton. Ipswich 0, Swansea 1.
Crawley 1, Accrington 1. Watford lead Rotherham by 1-0. Also in the Championship, as Garnacho is caught by Kabore, and that will be a free kick, but there'll be no action taken from referee Graham Scott. But we have got time to nip to Middlesbrough. Lee Blakeman.
0-0 Middlesbrough and Leicester, but Leicester have had the game's best chance. Kiernan Dewsbury Hall 20 yards out, tried the shot, good save. Seni Dienglo down to his right. Middlesbrough 0, Leicester 0.
Free kick then to Manchester United, 30 yards out from goal. Luton Town have got the line of white shirts on the edge of the penalty area, so Kaminski with one very good save from point blank range to keep out Hoyland. Yet to score in his 8 previous appearances in the Premier League. He's scored 5 in 4 in the Champions League. Eriksson floats over the free kick, aimed towards Maguire, looks for the downward header, hauls down Morris, and that will be a free kick. And we'll get an update in the Championship now from Molly Stevens at Cardiff.
Cardiff 0, Norwich 0, Ian. Incredibly scatty here so far. Cardiff just about looking more in control than Norwich at the moment, but Norwich, you can see why defence has been a problem for them, but it's currently 0-0.
Liam Manning taking charge of Bristol City for the first time today, being watched by Aaron Paul.
QPR 0, Bristol City 0, and it is Bristol City's Mark Sykes who's had the best opportunity of the game so far. Cross comes shot, played across the face of goal, beaten away by Asmir Begovic. QPR on the back foot, it's 0-0.
Doughty plays it forward to Morris, tries to get O'Benny forward on this near side, the left, but it goes out of play. Dallow will take it and throws it back towards Onana. So 12 minutes played, still goalless, with the exception of that Hoyland chance. What have you made of the start then so far, Michael?
I think Manchester United have been good. There have been some great understanding, full-backs coming inside, freeing space up for the wider players to try get some space. They've been not afraid to play longer diagonal passes or into the spaces, try to turn Luton round. They've created a huge chance. He's got to score. That would have been the difference straight away, that they'd have had control, but full credit to Luton. They're defending well, the shape looks good, and they're not in any rush to move, Dano.
I think it came off his thigh, didn't it? I mean, the deflection probably aided Hoyland to a degree, that it gave him the opportunity. Reading, incidentally, who've lost all 7 away from home in League One, have taken the lead at Shrewsbury. Shrewsbury 0, Reading 1 is a latest score. 0-0 here. 1-1 at Selhurst Park, goalless between Arsenal and Burnley. Wolves beat Tottenham earlier, coming from behind 2-1. Sunderland 3, Birmingham 1. Peterborough at London Road ran out 5-0 winners against Cambridge United. Should say as well that Sir Alex Ferguson is here today. It's the first time he's been back at Old Trafford since the passing of Lady Cathy. Okay, if I just look across there, he's next to Sam Allardyce in the director's box away towards our left-hand side. Here is Doherty, holds off Rashford. Back goal side though is the England international. Doughty inside now to Ross Barkley, opens up his body. There was a little slip there by Ted Mengi, but he played it inside towards Lockyer, who plays in the central figure of those 3 at the back for Luton. His forward ball was looking towards O'Benny, and then it's cleared away by Maguire. Up it goes in the air. Eriksson on the volley, hits it back downfield, and out of play it goes for a Luton Town throw on this near side, the left. 14 minutes played.
I think that's the first time we've seen a couple of passes from Luton. They've not had the ball. Obviously the possession's been ridiculous so far from Manchester United perspective, but Luton's starting to grow in, starting to have some belief, a little bit more ability, a little bit more composure on the ball. And now if they rotate it right, they need to get it into Barkley, they need to get it into the wider areas, Townsend as well. You know he can score a goal.
Luton's only win, 1897, when in fact United were known as Newton Heath. Tommy Little and Tom McInnes scored at Bank Street in that 2-1 success 126 years ago. They've lost all 16 encounters here at Old Trafford with an aggregate score of 8-4 and 47 against. And a quarter of an hour played, and once again this season Manchester United yet to score in the opening 15 minutes of a Premier League game. Their earliest goal so far this season is Christian Eriksen, 17 minutes against Nottingham Forest, but they are coming forward in the red shirts and the white shorts as Eriksen himself plays it out to Bruno Fernandes. Reading have got a second goal, Shrewsbury 0, Reading 2 is the latest score. Eriksen now out towards Rashford, goes down the line on this right hand side to Dalot. Dalot will send over the cross, and the header from McTominay about 8 yards out, couldn't keep it down. Let's get an update in the Rugby Union. James Burridge.
Harlequins have taken an early lead, 5-0. Alex Dombrandt crashing over to the right of the post. The conversion missed by Marcus Smith. Harlequins lead 5-0, 5 gone.
Harry Kane has scored 2 more goals for Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich are leading Heidenheim by 2-0, both from Harry Kane. He's on course for yet another hat-trick. I mean, he's had a scintillating start, hasn't he?
How dare we doubt him? Sensational finisher, isn't he? Ultimate professional as well, Deno. He's going to score a hatful, isn't he? That's for certain.
Osho goes forward for Luton Town. Out it goes for a throw that Luton will take quickly. Doherty back then to Lockyer. Nakamba now takes over just outside the centre circle. I don't think he'll be venturing too far today from that defensive midfield role as Barkley takes over just to the right of him. 16 minutes played, 0-0. What about Arsenal-Burnley, John Southall?
16 minutes played here as well, Ian. Arsenal 0, Burnley 0. Arsenal hogging possession. Zeki Amdoui, though, for Burnley, was allowed to run from the centre circle. His 25-yarder pushed away by Raya. Arsenal 0, Burnley 0.
Ball goes long, Lockyer tidies up, Nakamba is there, brings it under control. Gabriel Osho now, who's started the last 3 games, coming back into the side, playing on the left of that back 3. Nakamba now takes over. Kabore, and they play it back. Not looking phased in possession, Luton Town.
But this is what they've got to do. They've got to get on the ball. They've got to draw Manchester United out. We know full well that they're not a team who can get the ball back, so they've got to be comfortable in possession. They've got to really try and rotate it around because they haven't done it so far. It's only the way they're going to hurt Manchester United.
The voice of the former Sheffield United and Tottenham midfielder Michael Brown, who's with us here today on the World Service and BBC Radio 5 Live. Crystal Palace Everton, update from Chris Coles.
1-1, Mikalenko's header for Everton, Eze's penalty for Palace. It remains a really good game. Palace are edging it, Eze at the centre of everything Palace are doing well. It's a good game this. Palace 1, Everton 1.
Gavin Wallace will provide us details in a moment, but I can tell you that Dundee, well, there's been a goal. You tell us, Gavin.
Yeah, it's a goal for Dundee. Amadou Bakayoko from about 9 or 10 yards. It was a ball in. It was a corner from Owen Beck. Really poorly cleared by St Mirren, and he blasted beyond Zach Hemming. Dundee 1, St Mirren 0.
Cheers, Gavin. Not a good clearance by Onana. It went straight to Morris. Now they feed it down the left-hand side. O'Benny makes that run forward. Doubt is behind him. His cross is early in towards Morris, who comes to the near side of the 6-yard box. I was going to say I thought that was a corner kick. The referee initially pointed to a goal kick, and then Graham Scott, whether he realised or was told by one of his team, has then changed his mind and quite rightly corrects his decision, and it is a corner kick to Luton.
Yeah, big mistake by Onana. Let obviously Luton circulate the ball. It was a corner, bad decision, but he got it right in the end. Now a real key moment in the game, set piece for Luton.
Mengi, Osho are all up from the back. Lockyer has made the run. There was a Luton player who went to ground and slipped, I think, inside the flight of the ball. Out it goes towards that far side, the right, lifted back in. Fernandes says let it bounce, and he's let it marshal it out of play for a goal kick. Bruno Fernandes, 19 minutes played, still 0-0.
Yeah, the quality of the ball wasn't there. Harry Maguire, first contact. You've got to keep it away from him, that's for certain. You know, aerially, he will get close to them. But there's a half chance for Luton.
Manchester United, 0. Luton Town 0 in these early stages. Maguire, back it goes to Lindelof. Fernandez will switch players. He hoists it out to this near side for Dallow. Another goal at Portman Road, Flo Pollock.
Ipswich level, Ipswich 1, Swansea 1. Jack Taylor picked it up on the edge of the box and rifled it into the top corner. Stunning goal, Ipswich 1, Swansea 1.
Lindelof forward, Rashford collects it on this near side, the right. Rashford then waits. There's no width at all as the ball goes back to Harry Maguire. Bit of space now for Garnacho, coming in off that left touchline and running into the penalty area with pace. And Garnacho's right-footed effort is over the top. Well, that was much more like it from Manchester United. Goal kick 0-0.
Oh, sensational run. He just comes in off that left-hand side. He's got real presence. He just looks so comfortable as he just skips past people. Great diagonal pass as well from Harry Maguire. From that moment as he takes it into the penalty area, I'm thinking it's opened up. It's on that right foot. The space is there. He just tries to curl it far post. But it was always rising, but a great opportunity for Manchester United.
Doty heads it on. Maguire gets there in front of O'Benny. Rob Edwards will just toss that ball to Doughty on this near side. 20 minutes played. The thumbs up at the back there for the Luton Town manager, Paul Trollope, as his assistant. As here is Ross Barkley keeping hold of the ball and running back. And it goes back to Kaminski, all in purple, still under these clear blue skies here at Old Trafford. Couldn't get Kabore forward, but he did go into that 50-50 challenge with Reguilon, and it broke away off the Manchester United defender, and it will be a throw over the halfway line to Luton Town. Update from Arsenal, John Southall.
Arsenal 0, Burnley 0. Best chance of the game there, Bukayo Saka on the right of the area. His shot tipped onto the bar by James Trafford. Really good save. Arsenal 0, Burnley 0.
Here is O'Benny, rides up his chest, takes it into the penalty area right hand side, helped out by Morris, tussling for the ball. Morris wins that duel, can't get a side of goal, breaks back towards O'Benny. Now tries to scoop the ball forward. I think that struck the hand of Dallow inside the penalty area. There was appeals for handball more from the Luton supporters rather than the actual players, as then O'Benny cuts inside and left-footed shoots, and it's saved quite comfortably by Onana.
Yeah, good play from Luton, moving the ball around the edge of the penalty area. Was obviously a shout for handball, but as O'Benny comes inside, just tries to get that left foot curler towards the far post, comfortable for Onana, right into his hands, mid-drift. At least they're being positive, at least they're trying to get into key areas, little 1-2s and moving the ball forward.
Would you know the two English clubs in the whole of the 92 who are still unbeaten?
No.
Well, one of them's your former club Portsmouth, and the other is Mansfield Town, who've just taken the lead at Salford. Salford 0, Mansfield Town 1. The only two unbeaten records left in the top four tiers of English football. Talking of which, let's get an update from Fratton Park. Chris Wise.
23 minutes in, great game this. Still Portsmouth 0, Charlton 0. Alex Robinson's had a fierce shot save for Pompey. For Charlton, 11 goal Alfie May. Fine effort turned away. Portsmouth 0, Charlton 0.
Bruno Fernandes has just hit a diagonal ball in towards the penalty area, and it bounced, I don't know, just outside the 6-yard box, and it just seemed to catch Marcus Rashford out. Goal kick.
It did. It was that good a ball though. It was one of those curlers into the penalty area. You see McTominay get into good position, just sort of ricochets, flicks up. Rashford right on that back post. It's hard to anticipate because it goes through three bodies, but we just see the replay back and just hits the top of his thigh and goes out for a goal kick.
Remains 0-0. Loose ball picked up by O'Benny on this near side. Doughty's ahead of him. He's lost the ball though, and now Rashford will run forward. Holds off Alfie Doughty, who's come back at him, the left wing back. Infield to Fernandes, looks for the run of Garnacho. Headed away well by Mengi. Comes now to Reguilon. Reguilon to Garnacho. Garnacho again, pulls it back into the area. Fernandes wouldn't come down for it. Left-footed. It's over the top, and it remains 0-0. Let's get an update from the county ground in League 2. Ellen Ellard.
Yeah, still Swindon 0, Stockport 0, but a fast-paced start to this one. Stockport looking to go 13 unbeaten, 3 big chances. Tanto Alafe looking to add to his impressive tally of the season. Sarcevic fired wide and Onan Bailey has rattled the bar. Still 0-0.
Leeds United have just taken the lead at Plymouth 1-0. They've won 5 of their last 6. We'll bring you news of that goal from Sarah Mulkerins, and Salford have equalised at home to Mansfield in League Two. You're up to date, 0-0. Let's get details from Ellen Road. Sarah.
Yeah, it's Leeds 1, Plymouth Argyle 0. It has been all Leeds so far. The goal was coming and it went the way of Dan James. They had a penalty shout waved away. Plymouth Argyle almost stood back in defence, but then Dan James was there. He pounced, able to slot it in. It's Leeds 1, Argyle 0.
Kavora's just raced away on the right hand side. The cross from the right was cut out by Harry Maguire, and Luton Town still drawing 0-0 here with Manchester United. 24 minutes played. Have got a corner kick. Michael Brown.
Yeah, great run down the right hand side. Reguilon trying to get back into position, tries to play it early. Kavora right the way across, but Maguire great position, just sticks his left leg out. But another corner kick. They've got to be a little bit better on the quality from these set pieces.
So corner kick that Alfie Doughty is going to take on that far side, the right, picked onto by the near post by the Ross Barkley it was, who stooped, tried to get the little flick on, cleared by Fernandez. Potential break now for the home team. Ericsson turns, but then running back was Doughty. He did very, very well. Goal at Cardiff. Molly Stevens.
Cardiff 0, Norwich 1, and a sigh of relief for David Wagner. Marcelo Nunez with the corner on the left-hand side of the pitch, tapped in by Christian Fastnecht on the bottom right-hand corner. Norwich will be breathing a sigh of relief. 1-0 Norwich.
0-0 here. Manchester United tidy up. Lindelof slows it down. Ericsson now takes over. Another game in League Two. Shojo Saka at Crewe.
Crewe 0, Notts County 0. Shiloh Tracy just back from injuries, looked lively for Crewe. An 18-yard shot just wide. Notts County yet to get it together in the final third. Crewe 0, Notts County 0.
Goes out of play on that far side. Manchester United want to take it quickly on the left. Bruno Fernandes is there, as is Garnacho. It goes all the way back. Another goal at Ipswich. Flo Pollock.
Ipswich in front. Ipswich 2, Swansea 1. They concede a lot of goals, Ipswich, but they're the league's top goal scorers. Ipswich 2, Swansea 1.
25 and a half minutes played here at Old Trafford. 0-0 between Manchester United and Luton Town. Maguire in the centre circle. Long ball forward to Fernandes. Downward header. Lockyer did well. Just got in front of Hoyland, who tried to roll away from the Luton Town defender. Manchester United, though, back in possession. It's Garnacho just in from the touchline, level with the penalty area. Plays it to Fernandes. Little touch there for Lindelof, who's forward. Reguilon is ahead of him. Here he is level with the penalty area. And now it goes back to Fernandes, but Luton Town have got everybody back behind the ball. Maguire now running across towards to face this main stand. He's just gone and had a go at McTominay. Whether that about a lack of movement, lack of options, but he certainly let the Scottish international know how he was feeling as Kavora keeps the ball in play but concedes a throw. Michael Brown.
Yeah, he does. Just right on the back foot, under a lot of pressure. Manchester United just starting to move it a touch quicker. See Maguire with his rangefinder out, big diagonals. Garnacho looks like he could be the one that could open the door for them.
McTominay goes square. Rashford 25 yards out from goal, 10 yards in from the right touchline. Manchester United defending the Stretford end, playing from left to right as we look. As the ball is with Reguilon now, the left back. Lindelof is on the inside of him. Fernandes, Ericsson. Luton Town still working hard to close down the space. Rashford waits.
They're doing that well there, Dano, as well. You could just see Bonnet coming inside. Townsend just coming to help. Nakamba and Barclay just Carlton Morris is staying as that 9, but he's dropping really, really deep. But once Manchester United go into Luton's final sort of third, the shape's really good.
Update in the Rugby Union at Leicester. James Burridge.
And it's the hosts under real pressure. Dino Lamb has just scored Harlequins' second try, converted by Marcus Smith. Alex Dombrad scored after the first 5 minutes. 12-3, Harlequins lead Leicester.
Maguire takes it forward. It breaks towards Hoyland, tries to roll, gets the shot away, blocked. Barkley inside his penalty area, digs it out for Luton Town. That attack was set up by Harry Maguire running forward on the left.
Down the left wing, Harry Maguire. How things are changing for him. Sort of breaking down that left-hand side, just clips the ball in. The first contact wasn't really very good, but Hoyland near post tried to turn and get his shot away.
Fernandes rolls it into Hoyland. Again, he can't roll his man. Tried to backheel the ball to Ericsson, but it just was prodded away and then swept to safety by Doughty. But Manchester United are now starting to ask questions of Luton Town.
Yeah, they are. Quicker passing, so you're going through the spaces, into feet. Then there's that support, that little backheel that you mentioned, but Luton players scampering just to try and toe poke it away. Rob Edwards just below us, trying to get his team up. He's very vocal. You can see his arms going, trying to encourage them to get out a little bit further.
Motherwell 0, Hearts 1 is a scoreline in the Scottish Premiership from Fir Park. Luton Town have got it now with Townsend. He's hit a high and hopeful ball. O'Benny's got to make that run from left into a central area. Onana's come out of his penalty area all in green. He's taken on his chest. He now backpedals into his penalty area, takes it into feet, opens it up across his body, and then hits it right-footed downfield. But that's going to be easily dealt with, you would think, by Osho. And in the end, it was Lockyer who put it back to Kaminsky, who just put his right foot through that to clear it long.
It's always funny, that, isn't it, when you go to the easy one, he just literally pops it up. It takes too much time. He's a little bit lacklustre there. He got lucky, got fortunate. Now Manchester United win the ball back. Eriksson now just starting to pull the strings, trying to move things, and you just see ahead of him Garnacho coming inside, Fernandes breaking lines, lots of runs from McTominay to try and get him behind.
Here is Reguilon inside to Garnacho. Fernandes infield to Lindelof, lays it off. Eriksson takes over again, coming from deep. The fullbacks are pushed on. Rashford actually has come quite deep. In fact, Dalot is inverted on this near side, the right, as the ball goes out towards Reguilon, pushes it forward then towards Garnacho, and his cross will take a deflection. Corner kick will go to Arsenal. John Southall.
Arsenal 0, Burnley 0. Arsenal chance, corner on the right hand side. There was Kai Havertz 4 yards out, heading it wide. Arsenal 0, Burnley 0.
Fernandes has run across to take it. The Manchester United captain, the only outfield player to have played in every minute for Manchester United this season, just adjusting his bootlaces. Far side the left. 0-0. 5 live in the World Service, also live on BBC Sounds. Fernandes, far side the left when with the corner kick. It goes very, very deep. Rashford hits it. That could have gone anywhere. And it cannoned away off a Luton Town defender. It may have been Osho, and behind for a corner kick.
Yeah, it was Osho. They worked it well. Brilliant sort of duel with Maguire, Lockyer just in the centre. But what they've done, they've left Rashford just to pull out the back. Really well worked as he comes forward, just hits it side foot, ricochets for a corner, but a big chance for Manchester United.
So another corner kick for Manchester United, still looking to try and make the deadlock here. Eriksson to take it, right hand side, in towards the near post. Morris was running back inside his 6-yard box, and he managed to get the clearance away as then Kabore tumbles and it goes out of play for a throw. Wicket at the cricket, Adam Mountford.
David Willey has his 100th ODI wicket in his last game for England. Saga out for 54, and we've got the score now of 186 for 8. Pakistan need another 152 in 80 balls.
And another goal at Ellen Road, Sarah Mulkerrins.
It's all so easy for the hosts. They now lead Argyle by 2-0. Joel Pirro has been doing ever so well from the middle of the field, and now he's able to make a goal for himself. He has doubled their lead. It leads to Argyle 0.
Trying the rugby, James.
And another one, this time for Leicester. Hanro Liebenberg. Leicester finally come to life in the left-hand corner from the forward. Pollard missing the kick. It's Leicester 8, Quins 12.
Manchester United with Lindelof. We've got about 13 minutes to go to half-time. Fernandes hits it over the top, ducks underneath it as Lockyer through towards the goalkeeper. We'll get an update now from Crystal Palace Everton. Chris Coles.
Crystal Palace 1, Everton 1. Eberechi Eze continues to be heavily involved in this game, so much so he's just been booked for diving in the box trying to win another penalty. Everton continue to offer their own threats. James Garner shooting just wide. Palace 1, Everton 1.
Barkley's done well in the midfield, runs out of defence. Out it goes to Kabore, far side the right, back towards Barkley once again. 13 minutes to go to the break, still 0-0. Here is Nakamba. Element of control here. There was a little slip there from a Manchester United player. That was Eriksson. They hit it long. Maguire involved with Morris, and the referee has blown his whistle. Free kick to Manchester United. Did you think before that there could have been a potential penalty shout for Manchester United?
Yeah, Harry Maguire said it was a great battle, great duel between him and Lockyer, and there was a lot of arms, there was a lot of grabbing, and straight away Harry Maguire went to the referee, Graham Scott, and said, "He's fouled me." There was a slight delay. Referee sort of put his hand to his ear. We have to watch the next one now. You've got to let him go, not get that tight, or now that you've made everybody aware of it. But Maguire certainly felt like there was an incident. But just going back there, Ross Barkley getting some space, getting to good areas, much better from him.
Rashford wins an aerial duel against Osho, but Kabore back on defensive duties. The right wing back for Luton clears it out of play for a throw in League One. It's Fleetwood 2, Exeter 0. You're up to date with the goals as they go in. In fact, you were until Millwall scored at Hillsborough. Bottom of the table, Sheffield Wednesday 0, Millwall 1. Joe Edwards in charge for the first time today. Millwall without a win in 5. As Fernandes, out it goes to the right-hand side. The layoff first time by Rashford. McTominay puts his foot on the ball just over 10 minutes to go to half-time. Midway through the Luton half. Back to the centre circle it goes for Maguire. Then it goes to Reguilon, far side the left, brings it under control, waits 25 yards out, just in from the touchline, to Garnacho. Portsmouth now leading Charlton by a goal to nil. We're bringing you to that goal from the League One leaders, and in fact here it comes from Chris Wise.
It's a brilliant goal from Abu Kamara just after the half hour, corner from the left, cleared away to the edge of the box, 20 yards out, flush on the volley, flew into the corner. The league leaders in front, Portsmouth 1, Charlton 0.
Garnacho to Bruno Fernandes, his shot is charged down. Shrewsbury have got a goal back. Shrewsbury 1, Reading 2 is the latest score in League One. Swindon leads Stockport County by a goal to nil as the cross comes in from the left hand side. McTominay tries to get there, good covering defending there by Osho, very strong defending, header away, helped out now by Townsend, and he clears long. Told you about that goal at Swindon. Here's Ellen to tell us who's got it.
Yeah, Swindon Town won. They lead against the league leaders. Dan Kemp on the edge of the area lining up his shot. It took an almighty deflection which caught out the Stockport keeper, and they lead here. Swindon 1, Stockport 0.
Manchester United still can't find a way through as the cross comes in from the left from Reguilon. Lockyer heads it up rather than away. Nakamba and Barkley, eventually one of them will get there. Barkley was caught. That should be a free kick to Luton Town, as Bradford City have equalised at home to Barrow in League One, and Cheltenham have got an equaliser at home to Wigan in League One. Cheltenham 1, Wigan 1, Bradford 1, Barrow 1. No more goals to tell you about. Michael Brown.
Here at Old Trafford, so you've just seen a foul given. Ross Barkley just drawing a little bit of attention. The challenge coming his way, but again now Rob Edwards, manager Luton, just saying wait, delay, set it up, just give our team a little bit of a breather. Just want to try and get their own sort of possession going. It's been all Manchester United in that sort of count, but you know, they're really holding up really well, Luton, so far. They'd be delighted not to have conceded, just to stay in the game and then try and build from there.
Oxford United, who this week lost Liam Manning, have taken the lead at Leyton Orient. Leyton Orient 0, Oxford United 1 is a latest scoreline. Escabore with a cross from the right, Morris with a header. Onana with a fabulous save away towards his left hand side. It was a high hanging cross. Morris did ever so well, and Onana made the save away to his left. And Luton Town now foul one in again, and Onana makes the save from Andros Townsend.
You could see straight away under pressure, Luton kept coming. Fernandes loses the ball. Andros Townsend, you don't have to ask him twice, straight away that left foot, he just drills one down onto the left hand corner. But just going back to the first save, Morris header, he does really well. He's quite far out into the penalty area, but he directs the ball right into the far left corner. It's a nice height, sort of a metre high, but Onana gets across and parries it left-handed away.
Now Manchester United come forward, the white shirts retreat. Rashford picks it up right corner of the area, cuts inside, still going, runs away from him. Fernandes takes over just outside the D, chips the ball forward over the head of McTominay and runs out of play and out for a goal kick. Lincoln 0, Port Vale 1, Derby County 1, Barnsley 0. Two latest scores in League One, and we've got 7 minutes remaining to half time. But the game plan from Luton Town is paying off at the moment.
Well, they sit it in, they're realising they're trying to limit Manchester United to only a couple of opportunities, and that was a really clever flick. Bruno Fernandes at the centre of the pitch just tries to dink it over into McTominay, but just gets away from him, runs out for a goal kick. And again, Luton delay, the wait, Kempinski just has no rush whatsoever. Just there's groans, those boos from the Manchester United supporters. Referee Graham Scott says hurry it up a little bit, but you can see they are delaying it. They're trying to sit in, trying to kill the space. Typical away performance.
Cleared away by Osho. His clearance goes straight to Eriksson. Interception from Andros Townsend, runs into trouble, tries to win it back. Townsend has done well, prods it into the path of Doughty. Now he comes over the halfway line, urged on by the Luton Town support. Now O'Burney takes over on this near side the left. Doughty will go on the overlap. Here is Townsend who's run forward. They certainly have the pace to trouble Manchester United on the break. But Doughty's coming back from an offside position, so therefore he can't collect the ball that Townsend has passed towards him, and that attack from Luton Town peters out with 6 minutes to go to the break. It remains 0-0. Incidentally, Andros Townsend is a guest with Mark Chapman on the ever-popular Monday Night Club, 7 o'clock.
Be there, listen, we will do. He's not shy of an opinion, Andros Townsend. Played with him early on in his career. He's done very, very well. But he can certainly strike the ball, can't he? Some great goals, he scored them many, many grounds around the Premier League. So it'll be interesting to see and listen to his thoughts on Monday, how they've set up, how they've gone on. But I think if it gets worse for them, I don't think he'll want to talk about it too much.
Eriksson has gone down in the meantime whilst Michael Brown has been talking here at Old Trafford. It remains 0-0. So The physio is on, and Eriksson is getting a little bit of treatment for what looks like a problem either with his calf of his left leg. Let's get an update from Arsenal. John Southall.
Arsenal 0, Burnley 0. Chance apiece, a really good one for Burnley. Goodmanson through on goal, held off Zinchenko, saved by the outstretched hand of Raya, and Trossard at the other end, edge of the area, tipped over by Trafford. Arsenal 0, Burnley 0.
Hibs 1, Kilmarnock 0, Salford 1, Mansfield 2 are latest scores in the Scottish Premiership and League 2 respectively. Eriksson is on his feet, but I'm not too sure whether he's able to continue at the moment. He's walking off this side of the pitch. Whether he's going to get further treatment, we'll have to wait and see. In the meantime, let's go back to Russell Fuller watching the Billie Jean King Cup.
And it's been a horrible debut for Jodie Burridge. She was 4-love up first set. She's lost 12 of the next 13 games and lost 6-4, 6-1 to Kasia Ronaldo Persson of Sweden. They won the first rubber of the tie. And Jack Draper has lost the deciding set 6-3 to Adrien Manarino of France. So he's missed out on a first ATP title in Sofia.
Thank you, Russell. The problems are mounting then on the injury front for Erik ten Hag, because indeed Eriksson was unable to continue, and so 5 minutes before half-time, Mason Mount comes on to replace the Dane. Still 0-0. Manchester United against Luton Town. As Doughty plays the ball back, brought under control by Ted and Mengi. Made a couple of appearances for Manchester United, one in the Europa League and then another in the Champions League against Young Boys. That was a good attacking header forward from Dalot, picked up now by Højlund from deep, feeds it forward, Garnacho marked in the penalty area, Garnacho tries to get it goalwards, went round the goalkeeper, but 4 Luton Town white shirts were back protecting their goal, and they've cleared it.
Yeah, it was a big chance, loads of space. He was spotted. Garnacho, the goalkeeper, does really well, gets down the line of it, kills the space, but good feet. Garnacho just comes inside under a little bit of contact. Great recovery runs from Luton. All the defenders back in the position to see it out. The frustration in the stadium. Big chance.
It was a real opening, because it was a gaping gap in that Luton defence initially, but then the recovery from the 4 defenders to get back after Garnacho, who took a couple of touches before taking it away from Kaminski.
Kabore does well, doesn't he? He gets back in just as he's about to pull the trigger.
Here is Rashford. Goal at Cardiff, Molly Stevens.
Cardiff 1, Norwich 1. Josh Bowler hasn't stopped this game, crying out for that goal down the right-hand side. He slotted it in calmly down the right-hand side of the net, and Cardiff's patience really has paid off. It's Cardiff 1, Norwich 1.
4 minutes to go to half-time. McTominay has gone long with a cross, and it's drifted out of play, and it's out for a goal kick to Luton. 5 Live Breakfast next week, the return of Win the Headlines. You can basically win a whole host of top sporting prizes. Rick and Rachel will have more details from 6 till 9 on 5 Live Breakfast next week. For those Luton Town supporters who've packed out that quadrant away towards our right-hand side, will be very happy with this first half performance from their team so far. But Reguilon forward on the left, level with the penalty area, cross deflected, cleared by Lockyer. There's also no sign of Luton Town tiring in games, in the fact that they've scored 7 Premier League goals in the final 15 minutes. Only Arsenal and Liverpool have scored more. That tells you everything about their levels of energy.
Well, the levels of energy, the desire, the want to compete at this level. Everybody wrote them off. I was also thinking as well, will they win many games? They've got results, they're in the games, and the delight obviously to our right hand side, these supporters, and notably how excited they were to come here today. That's what I was saying before to you, Deno. I've never seen the director's box and all the guests from Luton Town be here 15-20 minutes before the game kicked off. That tells you they were ready for this game.
Yeah, well, it's been a while. The first league meeting in over 31 years between these two sides. Fleetwood 3, Exeter 0, and also in League 1, Carlisle United 0, Bristol Rovers 1. As Manchester United, with just 2 minutes remaining of normal time in this first half, with Maguire, passes the ball to Dalot. Dalot short of the halfway line, Rashford ahead of him. He's going to take Doughty with him. Doughty gets a foot into the challenge, holds up Rashford, who's happy to let the ball to go out of play for a throw. And yet the throw has gone in favour of Luton Town. How does that work?
Yeah, it has. Erik ten Hag is weird. The two managers right in front of him in the technical areas, both saying it's our ball, and then referee didn't give it. Assistant referee just down below decided it was. We'll try and get another look back, but I think it might have just actually clipped the front of Rashford's foot. They might have got that one right, don't know.
Under 2 minutes remaining. Erik ten Hag
it's changed the system as well now. McTominay was great runs with having Ericsson just as the base, because you know he can do that all day. And scoring goals at the moment, breaking through. He's had to go now as the base and just left Mount and Bruno Fernandes. But will they do that type of running? I'm not too sure. It's going to be more creative, into feet, turning around, getting into pockets. It's a different setup for United.
So McTominay has gone deeper. Mason Mount is more advanced with that change with Ericsson's injury. Garnacho takes over, just over 60 seconds remaining. BBC Radio 5 Live. And the World Service as a flat ball is hit by Fernandes. Finds Rashford on this near side. Dallow's infield of him. Blocked by Osho. Back it goes towards Maguire, right of the centre circle. Lindelof now left of the centre circle for Manchester United as they play from left to right. Millwall have got a second goal at Hillsborough. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Millwall 2. Mount forward, left hand side. Reguilon back towards Mason Mount, just in from the touchline. Right footed ball into the penalty area, unable to control it was Hoyland. Another goal at Cardiff. Molly Stevens.
He's been crying out for it. Callum Robinson with Cardiff second, is Cardiff 2, Norwich 1. Callum Robinson, simple header into the back of the net. Cool, calm and collected. Cardiff 2, Norwich 1.
Kabore wins the ball on that right hand side, feeds it forward towards Townsend. Townsend lifts it into the central area for Barkley, forward of the centre circle for Luton Town to get forward, and Barkley now passes the ball out towards Doherty. Benny's ahead of him. 2 minutes of added on time, which we're now into here at Old Trafford. It still remains 0-0. The Irish international, Chidozie Obeni, tries to send over the cross from the left, blocked by the legs of Dallow. Back into his penalty area finds McTominay. Manchester United, though, have been penned back inside their own half here by these white shirts of Luton Town, but they managed to beat the press from the three players. Infield to Maguire, and now he charges forward from that central defensive role and passes the ball out towards the halfway line to Reguilon. Goal at Arsenal, John Southall.
Arsenal have the breakthrough. Arsenal 1, Burnley 0 right on half-time. Zinchenko with a header pretty much on the goal line, hit the post as he scored it, and is still down. Arsenal 1, Burnley 0.
It remains Crystal Palace 1, Everton 1 in the other game in the Premier League. Doherty back towards Lockyer, central figure of that three-man defence. Tried to hit it out towards the right, but he's put it out of play for a Manchester United throw. 2 minutes of added on time, which we're now into.
Yeah, he's got to do better with the possession there, Lockyer. I know he's obviously not one for actually controlling it and being that sort of the one who's to step in, but late stages, just give the ball back when they had a real comfortable opportunity to keep possession. It was the one more chance at the end of this first half for Manchester United.
Anybody who has seen Manchester United play at home will not be surprised the way that this has gone so far here today. As Garnacho runs forward, low cross, early ball, cleared by Lockyer. Luton Town have defended what they've had to do, but with the exception of that early Kaminski save from Hoyland, the Luton Town goalkeeper has not had anything else.
Well, that was the shot on target, wasn't it? They've had opportunities. We've seen two chances for Rashford at the back post. Garnacho coming in off that left-hand side, puts the ball over, and a Bruno Fernandes shot on the edge of the area. Should have hit the target, should have done better. But you can just hear it creeping in, that frustration with the supporters. But now is this one chance right at the end of this first half.
And they thought they may have got a free kick for a foul on Garnacho, but in fact it was coming back from an offside position. It'll be a free kick to Luton Town. Last season, Manchester United, this was back being a fortress, Old Trafford. Manchester United had lost just 2 of 33 games. As the half-time whistle sounds, there are a few groans, because they've been frustrated by a very well-drilled Luton Town team.
Yeah, as you say, everybody was sat waiting to see what this performance was going to be like. I think they've controlled it. I think they've created opportunities. They haven't had that cutting edge for the possession and the chances that they've had. They've got to do better. They've got to make sure that they're in the lead against this Luton side. You've got to give the credit to Luton Town. They've had a game plan. They've sat in with that back five. The two wide players have come and joined the two midfield players to make them really difficult to close those spaces. But again, Manchester United must do better.
Point-blank save from Kaminski, kept out Hoyland early on, and then Onana made a very good save from a Morris header. Half-time at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 0, Luton Town 0.
Deadlock has been broken in League 2 between AFC Wimbledon and Doncaster. Ali Al-Hamadi has got his 6th of the season for the home side, and they lead by a goal to nil, and Dundee have doubled their lead. Gavin.
They have indeed, Mark. Zach Rudden from the spot. I think it might have been Marcus Fraser. Just as we go on to half-time, it was really, I don't understand what he stuck the hand out for. They had a good chance to clear it, but Zach Rudden stood up and put it to the left of Zach Hemming, who's on loan from Middlesbrough. It was a really well-dispatched penalty, and that complements that goal that we had on 16 minutes from Amadou Bakayoko, his second of the season. That was an out-swinging corner that St Mirren failed to deal with. It was so poor, and all he had to do from around about the penalty spot was stick his laces through at half-time here at Densmark. Dundee 2, St Mirren 0.
Goalless at the Riverside at the break. Lee Blakeman.
Middlesbrough 0, Leicester 0. It's a really lively 0-0 though, Mark. Leicester with the game's best chance. Corner from the left. Vestergaard, free header, loads of power in it. Brilliant save by Seny Dieng at full stretch to keep it out. Borough have had chances too. Their best, a header from Dale Fry in stoppage time. That took a super save by Hermansen to keep that one out. Leicester yet to drop a point on the road, but they're level at 0-0 with Middlesbrough at half-time.
With Dundee and St Mirren going to half-time, with Dundee leading by 2 goals to nil. In fact, all the Scottish Premierships are at half-time. Hibs lead Kilmarnock by a goal to nil. Motherwell 0, Hearts 1, and it's goalless between St Johnstone and Ross County. Back to the Premier League. Half-time whistle has gone at the Emirates. John.
Goal just before half-time. Arsenal lead Burnley by 1 goal to nil. It was Martinelli on the left-hand side. He played over the cross. Saka headed it back across goal to Leandro Trossard, who was at the far post. He nudged it in from about a yard out, collided with the goalkeeper and the post, stayed down for a long time, but I'm pleased to say he's up and he's walking off at half-time. He is okay. Before that, James Trafford denied Saka Trossard. Havard squandered a chance from 4 yards, but Burnley have had one chance and one really good one. Gudmundsson threw on goal, held off Zinchenko. His shot though saved by Raya with an outstretched left hand. Half-time, Arsenal 1, Burnley 0.
With Liam Manning go to Bristol City, Craig Short is in temporary charge at Oxford, and he's seen his side go 2-0 up at Leyton Orient thanks to Billy Bowden's 6th of the season. And on the stroke of half-time in the Championship, Mileta Rajovic has got his 2nd of the afternoon, 6th for the season for Watford, and they lead Rotherham by 2 goals to nil. Back to the Premier League, Chris Coles.
Crystal Palace 1, Everton 1. Blistering start to the game, both goals in the opening 5 minutes. Firstly for Everton, Vitaly Mikalenko's header inside 70 seconds, nodding in Jack Harrison's cross. Eberechi Eze back for Palace and back in the goals, winning a penalty a few moments later, going over a trailing Jared Branthwaite leg. Eze scored it, and his first half performance really highlighting how much he's been missed here. Everton have offered threats aerially and on the break. James Garner coming close with a right foot shot just wide from the edge of the area. It's been a really competitive half, and there are more goals in this. Crystal Palace 1, Everton 1.
Leeds have won 5 of their last 6 in the Championship. They're on course for another 3 points today. Sarah Mulkerrins.
Yeah, and this first half has been very easy for the hosts. The Argyle defence has really struggled under their force. Dan James scored Leeds first, pouncing in the area when a penalty shout was waved away. Somerville had the ball in the back of the net shortly after that was ruled out for offside. He then set up Pirro for their second with some nice footwork on the left edge of the area. Finn Azaz really had the only effort for Argyle, scooped up easily by Meslier. Any attackers really finding themselves isolated. Manager Stephen Schumacher is cutting a real frustrated figure down on that sideline. Leeds have not lost at home this season, and it is very hard to see how they would from here based on that first half. It's Leeds 2, Argyle 0.
Homeside lead at St Mary's as well. Becky Ives.
Southampton 1, West Brom 0. Will Smallbone, a left-footed shot from close range. He was the quickest to react from an initial Adam Armstrong shot that was saved 5 minutes into the first half. He could have had a second, but he skied it from penalty spot territory 20 minutes later. Southampton have been brilliant. West Bromwich Albion, underwhelming. Took 44 minutes before Brandon Thomas Asante flashed one wide of the post, but that was pretty much all Gavin Bazzuno in the Southampton goal had to deal with. Carlos Corberán been going mad on the touchline. Not so much effect to his side, though. Southampton 1, West Brom 0.
Ipswich have turned it around at home to Swansea. Flo Pollock.
Yes, they have. It's Ipswich 2, Swansea 1 at the break. Ipswich were punished for a slow start. Jay Fulton heading Swansea in front. But on 17 minutes, Jack Taylor scored an absolute stunner from outside the box. That sparked Town into life, and after that they were irresistible in attack. They should have had 4 or 5 really. They did get a second through Conor Chaplin, and Kieran McKenna's football continues to be highly entertaining and effective. Half-time, Ipswich 2, Swansea 1.
And double delight for Ipswich fans. They're winning, Norwich are losing. Molly.
Cardiff 2, Norwich 1. Half-time mark, simple but scatty close-range tap-in for Christian Fastnacht to give the visitors the lead on 22 minutes. That soon changed. 20 minutes later, Cardiff got their equaliser through Josh Bowler, and then just 3 minutes after that, Callum Robinson's header gave Cardiff the lead just before half-time. So misery continues for Norwich, who have no composure, I must say. Cardiff lead 2-1.
Goalless at QPR, Aaron.
Yeah, QPR 0, Bristol City 0. The most uninspiring half of football you'll see in a long time. Atmosphere akin to a coffee shop. Nothing else to report, 0-0.
Good, excellent. Short is sweet. Sunderland 3, Birmingham 1 was the lunchtime game in the Championship. Elsewhere, there is not a lot going on. Coventry 0, Stoke 0, Hull 0, Huddersfield 0. Millwall lead at Hillsborough by 2-0. Murray Wallace with his first of the season, and George Saville in Joe Edwards' first game in charge of Millwall. And Watford lead Rotherham at the break thanks to Mileta Rajovic's 2 goals, 6 for the season for him. How have the League One leaders gone in that first half? Portsmouth against Charlton, Chris Wise.
Well, they're a well-oiled machine, and it's in full working order on another weekend. Portsmouth, they're leading Charlton by 1-0, top of the table unbeaten, and in front with a goal that exuded confidence from Abu Kamara just after the half hour. The corner was cleared away, and Kamara caught it sweetly on the volley, flew into the corner, keeper rooted to the spot from 20 yards out. Charlton have offered some energy going forward, but they're really struggling to contain Portsmouth. Portsmouth 1, Charlton 0.
Elsewhere in League One at lunchtime, Peterborough thrashed Cambridge by 5-0. In the 3 o'clocks, it's goalless between Bolton and Blackpool. Bristol Rovers, who are unbeaten in 3 under their interim manager Andy Mangan, lead at the break at Carlisle by 1-0. It's Cheltenham 1, Wigan 1. Derby lead Barnsley by 1-0. James Collins got that from the penalty spot, 9 for the season for him. Fleetwood, who've won just one of their last 7 at home, have had a great first half against Exeter. They lead by 3-0. It's Leyton Orient 0, Oxford 2, Lincoln 0, Port Vale 1, Ben Garrity 6 of the season, the difference between the two sides there. Goalless between Northampton and Burton. Shrewsbury 1, Reading 2. Reading have lost all 7 of their away games in the league this season, but they lead at the break, and it's goalless between Wickham and Stevenage. Into League 2, Crewe against Notts County, Shojo Saka.
It is Crewe 0, Notts County 0. Crewe's robust 5-4-1 systems really limited Notts County. Having said that, Macaulay Langstaff should have scored after being played through by Dan Crowley. Well saved by Crewe keeper Harvey Davis. Crewe themselves have enjoyed several high turnovers high up the pitch, but have failed to put any away. Half-time, Crewe 0, Notts County 0.
They conceded 7 at home to non-league Aldershot in the FA Cup last weekend, did Swindon. Fair to say it's going a bit better for the home side this afternoon. Ellen Ellard.
Yeah, slightly unexpected scoreline here. Swindon 1, Stockport 0. Stockport with the best of the very quick early play. Alafe, Sarcevic and Bailey all coming close before Dan Kemp's shot from the edge of the area took an almighty deflection past Hinchliffe in the Stockport goal to give Swindon the lead, and it leaves Stockport's unbeaten run hanging in the balance. They've also lost key man Sarcevic early on to a shoulder injury. So at half-time, Swindon 1, Stockport 0.
Elsewhere in League 2, AFC Wimbledon lead Doncaster by 1-0 thanks to Ali Al-Hamidi, 6th of the season, right on the stroke of half-time. Graham Alexander in charge of Bradford for the first time this season. They did trail to an early goal at home to Barrow, but at the break it is 1-1. Goalless between Colchester and Sutton. It's Crawley 1, Accrington 1. Grimsby 0, Morecambe 1. Adam Mayer's 3rd of the season has given the visitors the lead there. Goalless between Newport County and MK Dons. Salford 1, Mansfield 2. Mansfield 2nd coming from Davis Keeler Dunn. That's his 9th of the season. Tranmere lead Forest Green Rovers by 1-0. Walsall 0, Harrogate 0. And the earliest goal of the day in League 2 came at Wrexham from Ollie Palmer, 5 for the season for him. And they lead Gillingham by 1-0. In the National League, AFC Fylde 0, York 2. Aldershot 1, Kidderminster 0, Altrincham 0, Southend 0, Borehamwood 0, Bromley 1. The battle between the top 2 is goalless between Chesterfield and Barnet. Gateshead have had a great first half. They lead Dorking by 3-0. Hartlepool 1, Ebbsfleet 1, Maidenhead 1, FC Halifax 0, Oldham 0, Eastleigh 1, Oxford City 2, Woking 0, and Wealdstone 1, Rochdale 1 at the break. In Scotland, we've done the Scottish Premiership in League 1. Alloa 0, Queen of the South 0, Falkirk 1, Edinburgh City 1, Hamilton 2, Stirling 0, Kelty Hearts 0, Cove Rangers 1, Montrose 0, Annan 1. I missed the Championship out, I'll do the Championship. Adrionians 1, Arbroath 0, Inverness 3, Ayr 0, Partick 1, Morton 1, and Queen's Park 0, Wraith 1. In League 2, East Fife 0, Dumbarton 1, Elgin 0, Bonnyrigg Rose 0, Forfar 0, Clyde 0, Peterhead 2, Stranraer 1, and Stenhouse Muir 0, Spartans 1. In the Premiership Rugby, they're into the second half at Bristol, and the home side trail Sale by 13 points to 20. Half-time at Welford Road. James?
Harlequins leading 17-15, Mark. Tyrone Green with another flying finish in the right-hand corner. It's their third try of this first half. Leicester actually recovered from going 12-3 down, tries from Liebenberg and Freddie Stewart, but it's Harlequins with a narrow half-time lead, 17-15.
One game underway in the United Rugby Championship, and Benetton leads Stormers by 13 points to 10. At the Cricket World Cup, England closing in on victory against Pakistan. Pakistan 231 for 9 after 42 overs. They needed 338 to beat England. Earlier, Australia beat Bangladesh by 8 wickets. Exactly 4 o'clock. Here's Dan Maudsley.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Police say more than 300,000 people have taken part in the pro-Palestinian protest in London. Officers have arrested 92, mainly right-wing counter-protesters, including more than 80 at a pub along the march route, which they said was to prevent a breach of the peace. Scotland Yard says the protest, which began in Hyde Park, is so far proceeding as intended. Well, earlier, a 2-minute silence was held across the UK to mark Armistice Day, including at the Cenotaph in London. Hundreds of military veterans formed a square around the memorial to the war dead, where nearby police faced aggression from some counter-protesters. Doctors inside Gaza's biggest hospital say patients, including babies, are at immediate risk of dying as electricity has been cut amid the Israeli offensive. A Palestinian surgeon at Al-Shifa Hospital says most of the civilians there, including patients and some medics, have now left. Well, Israel's military says it has killed a Hamas commander that it said had been stopping around 1,000 Gazan residents leaving a hospital in northern Gaza. It says Ahmad Siam was killed along with other Hamas fighters while hiding in the Al-Barak school. His death hasn't been confirmed by Hamas. And leaders from Arab and Muslim countries have demanded an immediate and permanent ceasefire in Gaza at an emergency summit in Saudi Arabia. The Palestinian president, Mahmoud Abbas, called on the US to stop what he called Israeli aggression.
This is 5 Live Sport with Mark Chapman on 5 Live. Listen on BBC Sounds.
Back to Old Trafford shortly, but let's go to the Billie Jean King Cup, where Great Britain haven't made the greatest of starts. Russell Fuller.
No, and as debuts go, that was grisly for Jodie Burridge. Unable to play anywhere near her usual level in her debut for her country. Nerves looked to have played a significant part. She led 4-love, but then lost 12 of the next 13 games, with Kasia Ronaldo, person of Sweden, winning 6-4, 6-1. Now Katie Bolter's turn. She has nearly 500 ranking places advantage over her opponent, Kasia Henneman. And the news from Sofia is that Jack Draper has lost his first ATP final, losing the deciding set 6-3 to Adrian Manarino, but he's had a very good end of the season after all those injuries. Pretty much halved his ranking from before the US Open to 61 now, and he's likely to play an important part for Great Britain in the Davis Cup finals in 10 days' time.
Thank you to Adam Mountford at the cricket, where England are searching for this final wicket.
Yes, being frustrated by some lusty late-order hitting from Ralph, who's got 35, and Wasim, who's got 16. Pakistan 244 for 9. They still have another 94 from 42 balls, but at the moment, I mean, this would be the most ignominious defeat if they go down to a 10th wicket partnership. The 53 off 33 balls these two have added. Pakistan, though, need that 94 from 42, 244 for 9.
Sale have scored again at Bristol. So Bristol 13, Sale 27, and they are midway through the second half in that game in the Gallagher Premiership. Wickham against Stevenage, by the way, has still not reached half-time. So they're in the... I don't know what's happened at Wickham, but they're in the 14th minute of stoppage time in the first half. And Stevenage, who are in 6th, have just taken the lead through Jamie Reid's 13th of the season. The half-time whistle still to go at Adams Park. Wickham 0, Stevenage 1. In fact, it has just gone, as the second half is about to get underway at Old Trafford. Ian Dennis.
And a story certainly in the offing here for Luton Town. They were so close to getting 3 points last week at home to Liverpool. They could be picking up another precious point here at Old Trafford, because as the second half resumes, with Manchester United, red shirts, white shorts and black socks, attacking the Stretford end, playing from right to left as we look. Luton Town in predominantly all white. It is still 0-0. And Luton Town, you think that chance with Morris saved by Onana. And then at the other end, the early effort from Hoyland that was kept out at close range from Kaminski. But Manchester United have struggled to create clear-cut opportunities. Neither team has made a change at the start of the second half. So Onana is in goal. The back four of Dalot, Lindelof, Maguire and Reguilon. Fernandes, Mount and McTominay. Mount a first half substitute for the injured Eriksen. Rashford, Hoyland and Garnacho. For Luton Town, Kaminski's in goal. Back three of Osho, Lockyer and Mengi. Doherty and Kabore are the wing backs, left and right respectively. Barkley and Nakamba, Townsend Obeni and Carlton Morris, as a lot of the directors are still taking to their seats away towards our left-hand side, but somebody who was promptly back after getting some half-time refreshment, Michael Brown.
Yeah, I was. I'd have to have a little drink, Deno. I did bring you something back, but just seeing a head injury there slightly for Scott McTominay. But it's really, really still the start of this second half. You expect a bit of something. Manchester United turning it round, giving them something to go at, the crowd, to try and get that lift. But it's really, really been slow to the start of the second half, which will suit Luton all the way.
Garnacho passes the ball back. All over at the cricket now, Adam Mountford.
244 all out, a consolation win for England's deposed world champions, who beat Pakistan by 93 runs despite some lusty late order hitting by Ralph and Wasim. Willie, 3 wickets including his 100th in his last game. A torrid defence at least ends with some smiles in the city of joy, Ian.
Thank you, Adam. That's been on Sports Extra, and of course with the TMS podcast you'll get all the reaction as a cross comes in from the left by Reguilon. Headed out well by the Luton defence, hooked clear by Townsend. Lindelof lets it run through towards Maguire. Maguire, who's been like a linchpin at times to try and launch attacks. He popped up at the left-hand side for on one occasion in that first half. Now it's out towards Rashford on the right. Forward ball. Mason Mount makes the run to the right-hand side of the penalty area. He goes to ground after unable to squeeze through 2 Luton defenders, and he gets a free kick for his trouble.
Yeah, but when you see it back, he just falls down. The reaction from the Luton players are saying there's not really any contact. He just tries to push it back. You see it here, Deno, just a little sort of nutmeg. You just see fall to the ground.
Very soft.
Buys it, very, very soft. And questions will be asked here if Manchester United can take the lead from this wide free kick. Good opportunity though. Fernandes on point, good right foot, we know that. He's going to attack the ball.
3 minutes into the second half, Bruno Fernandes waits, he's poised. Far side the right, lifts it in now, and the header from Hoyland is wide. He climbed high, edge of the 6-yard box, but his header dropped well wide of the left-hand post. Goal kick.
That's a big chance, huge chance, opportunity for Manchester United. He said he's got good delivery, just dinks it into the area. It's a free header. He almost catches it and sort of clips down towards his shoulder. Does he try to hit it and head it too hard on the opportunity on the front post? He sort of just catches his shoulder. You've just got to guide it, use the pace, just flick it into the far post. That's pure execution. Another big chance for Hoyland.
Grimsby have equalised early in the second half at Blundell Park. Grimsby 1, Morecambe 1. That's the latest score in League 2. Mount was having his shirt pulled by Ross Parkley. The referee, though, has played the advantage. Dallow then has given the ball away. Inexplicably, it went straight towards Doughty, who now runs forward for Luton Town. Infield towards Barkley, midway through the Manchester United half. Kabori's making good ground on this near side, the right. Townsend will go from distance, but that swerving effort from 30 yards out was off target. Goal kick, Michael Brown.
Yeah, he always tries that ambitious one. Townsend in the middle of the pitch. Manchester United lose it cheaply. But when they come forward, he's got to try and hit the target. It's always rising, just that backlift centrally. It wasn't going to trouble the goalkeeper.
Here is Bruno Fernandes to take over midway through his own half, out towards that right hand side. Hoyland lets it come through, though the block came in. Barkley to Townsend, trying to roll away from Reguilon. He's had his pocket picked there by Reguilon, but Townsend does recover well to feed it forward towards Kabori on this nice side. Sliding in was Bruno Fernandes. Crowd are certainly getting up for it. They're wanting Manchester United to go forward, but it's been a bit of a struggle so far to break down this resolute Luton Town team. Here is Reguilon to Garnacho, plays it back. Fernandes infield towards McTominay. Another sellout crowd at Old Trafford raise their voices. BBC Radio 5 Live, BBC Sounds and the World Service. But at the minute, playing in front of Luton Town. Here is Reguilon. He goes back towards Lindelof. I don't normally try and do this early on in a game, but I forgot to do it in the first half, so I'll do it early on in the second half. But of course, every Friday with on Drive on 5 Live with Claire and Tony, you have Facts of the Day. And Tony's fact this week was that Erik ten Hag was a useful dancer in his youth. He used to attend dance school. Here is Garnacho forward. Garnacho couldn't get the shot away. Reguilon goes into a challenge. It was a full-blooded one with Kabore. It goes off target for a goal kick. Now, had it been at the start of the season, at the start of the game, I'd have been saying he'd have been hoping for a waltz. But I'm staying at the start of the second half. It's been more like a slow foxtrot, hasn't it, for United?
Yeah, it's been really slow. Actually, I've seen a video of you recently, Dano, saying you've got all the moves and all the dance clubs used to watch you come in, but that did surprise me, so you've got a few as well.
Yeah, I would, whatever that video, whoever sent that to you, I would just keep that under your hat for the time being. Always been of the opinion what goes on tour stays on tour. Here is Townsend, chips the ball out towards that far side. Derby have got a second goal at home to Barnsley. Derby have won their last two at home. Barnsley actually unbeaten away from home until today. And Tranmere 2, Forest Green 0 is the latest score in League 2. Grimsby 2, Morecambe 1 is a latest score. And Port Vale are down to 10 men, but they're still leading away at Sincilbank by a 1-0. Goal now at Selhurst Park. Chris Coles.
Everton have it. Their start to the second half mirroring their start to the game. Abdoulaye Doucouré tapping in after Mikalenko's volley crashed off the post. This will be checked with VAR. The offside was close, but at the moment Palace 1, Everton 2.
Match of the day tonight, BBC 1, 11 o'clock. This could be the lead story so far as Luton are coming forward in towards Townsend. Townsend got the shot away, blocked from Lindelof. They're growing in confidence at Luton Town. Here now on that far side is O'Benny, left of the penalty area to Ross Barkley. Ross Barkley does the step over, caught in possession by Fernandes. The break is on for Manchester United. Fernandes looks towards Garnacho. Can he keep that arcing ball in play? No, he can't. Out of play it goes for a throw. 53 minutes played, 0-0. Michael Brown.
Yeah, Luton had all the momentum. Ross Barkley just tried to do that step over. Fernandes seen it. They broke really, really quickly, but the ball that swept across to Garnacho just ran out right in front of Erik ten Hag. But it's opening up this game, and that's what Manchester United need. They need to draw Luton out. They need to try and get that sort of spaces created, but they've got to take a bit of risk. They've got to do it a little bit quicker, and that's when it'll open up. Surely then Manchester United would come out on top.
If you're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live, as Maguire has completely missed that ball towards Andros Townsend, and for his efforts he wins a corner kick. You'll know that Claire and Tony drive from 4 till 7, Rick and Rachel on a morning 5 Live breakfast from 6 till 9, and don't forget the return of 5 Live's return of the headlines next week with 5 Live breakfast. Leyton Orient 0, Oxford United 3. So the departure of Liam Manning hasn't really affected them too much as he's gone off to Bristol City. as Millwall have got a third as well. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Millwall 3. Corner kick then for Luton Town. Townsend to take it. It's an in-swinger. Hook clear by Fernandez at that near post. Crawley 2, Accrington 1 is a latest score. Luton Town have got a throw, left-hand side. 54 minutes played. Still 0-0.
Yeah, good opportunity there from the corner kick. Just Townsend tries to sweep it in. Good position from Bruno Fernandes. There's a slight foul there. That's what they're asking for, those Luton supporters, from Harry Maguire. But it's starting to open now. It's end to end, which obviously Luton are doing really well. They're picking up in the game and drawing another foul there.
Well, they are one of 4 Premier League clubs who are yet to keep a clean sheet this season. But 10 minutes into the second half, they're on course to do just that. Northampton 1, Burton 0 is the latest score in League One. And Forest Green are down to 10 men as they trail away at Prenton Park. Tranmere 2, Forest Green 0. BBC Radio 5 Live, here at Old Trafford. Lockyer goes back to Kaminski. The vocal support from the away end has been non-stop from those travelling support from Luton. Here is Nakamba, out towards the far side. Doherty running onto it with pace, far side the left. They've got 2 waiting in the penalty area. Cross was blocked. Dalot, Fernandes, they'll leave it for Maguire. Chips the ball out towards the far side, strikes the head of O'Benny. Out of play, it goes for a United throw.
It's going to be an amazing day. These Luton supporters are picking up, thinking there's a possibility of them getting a result at Manchester United in the Premier League. I mean, that's how incredible the story would be. United have got to grow in confidence. They've got to move these around much quicker than they are doing at this moment in time, and the frustration will keep in. And you know, if you're Luton as well, you would say the longer this goes on, you'll get great belief.
Ball spread out towards Garnacho. Garnacho waits and then he goes back. A goal at Arsenal, John Southall.
What about this? Arsenal 1, Burnley 1, their first effort in this second half. Brownhill with the shot, took a big deflection, wrong-footed the goalkeeper Raya, and in it went. Arsenal 1, Burnley 1.
Burnley are one of those 4 sides who are yet to keep a clean sheet. Sheffield United and Brighton and Hove Albion are the other 2. So 1-1 in North London. Crystal Palace 1, Everton 2 in South London, and earlier Wolves 2, Tottenham Hotspur 1 was the results in the Premier League. Sunderland beat Birmingham City by 3-1 in the Championship, and in the early kick-off in League One, Peterborough United 5, Cambridge United 0. Sports Report with Mark Chapman, the results and the reaction coming up before Bournemouth against Newcastle United. Our next commentary at 5:30, and tomorrow all 5 Premier League games will be live, either on Sports Extra 5 Live or online. Here is Fernandes, turns, finds Reguilon, over the halfway line, back to Fernandes. Leyton Orient 1, Oxford United 3, Leyton Orient have a goal back. As Fernandes comes forward now for Manchester United, encouraged to advance a little further, to Reguilon, first time cross from the left, Højlund in there, Lockyer did well to put him off, loops up into the air, might come out to Reguilon, runs in now off the left touchline. 30 yards out from goal to Lindelof. Lindelof comes forward. Rashford, he and Garnacho have switched now. Rashford's operating on the left, Garnacho on the right. Rashford cuts in onto his right foot towards Maguire. Every outfield player is in the Luton half. Maguire runs forward, midway through now, then leaves it, and then it's swept by Dalot to Lindelof. Lincoln City are down to 10 men as well at Sinsel Bank. So Lincoln 0, Port Vale 1 as a cross comes in, punched away by Kaminski. Both teams are down to 10, and Swindon 1, Stockport 1 is the latest score in League 2. You're up to date, Michael Brown.
Yeah, Manchester United are pushing now, more players in advanced positions. Good dangerous delivery from Rashford down on this left hand side. He comes again.
Rashford tries to squeeze in between Townsend as well as Kabora. They doubled up on him, and Townsend's work wins a corner kick for Manchester United in front of the Stretford end. So down by that tunnel area, Fernandes wants to take the corner quickly. It remains 0-0 as we approach the hour mark here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Fernandes with the corner, right arm aloft. It's a right-footed corner kick. Outstretched clearance by Morris, runs to the edge of the area. Ball fired back in by Rashford. McTominay there. Lindelof was there! And Lindelof hammers the ball into the back of the net. You can feel the relief inside Old Trafford. It's his first goal in just under 3 years, and Manchester United, through an unlikely source, lead by 1-0.
Well, they finally got that breakthrough. The pressure was just too much. Down that left-hand side, the cross came in. It went to Rashford right across the back, but he drills the ball in a central area. Lots of ricochet, but there he was, Lindelof, right on top of it, just inside the penalty spot, and just drifts the ball right into the far corner. A great finish, great awareness. And finally, Manchester United get that breakthrough.
And another goal elsewhere in the Premier League. It's at Arsenal. John Southall.
Arsenal back in front. Arsenal 2, Burnley 1. Corner from the left-hand side. Saliba must have been about 2 yards out when he headed it in. Arsenal 2, Burnley 1.
And a goal of the Championship at Portman Road. Flo Pollock.
Ipswich 3, Swansea 1. George Hurst from the spot after an Ipswich player was dragged down in the box. Ipswich looking really, really good today. Ipswich 3, Swansea 1.
Goals left, right and centre, and also at Swindon. Ellen Ellard.
Yeah, Stockport, the league leaders, have one back here. It is 1-1. Will Pollard brought down in the area. He stepped up to take the spot kick and send the keeper the wrong way. 1-1.
And another goal at Dundee, Gavin Wallace.
Indeed, it's a third for Dundee. This time it's Amanda Bakayoko with his second of the afternoon. Zach Rudden picked the ball up out wide. His shot was saved right into the path of the Sierra Leone striker, and all he had to do was tap home. Dundee 3, St Mirren 0.
Watford 3, Rotherham 0. Grimsby 3, Morecambe 1. You're up to date with the goals as they go in BBC Radio 5 Live. Let's get an update in the rugby. James Burridge.
Watford Road erupts because Leicester have the lead. Freddie Stewart with his second try, a fabulous flowing move from the host. He touches down in the right hand side. Conversion from Pollard, 22-17, 8 minutes into the second half.
Tahith Chong has come on to replace Andros Townsend as Luton Town make a change, and the game plan lasted for just under an hour for Luton Town, and now it'll be interesting as to see how they can respond to going a goal down. But it came from that Rashford fired effort in, and then Lindelof just blasted the ball home. Michael Brown.
Yeah, he did. Spaces in front of him. He just stepped forward. And again, here they go. Luton now an opportunity.
Here is Morris, right hand side of the penalty area, trying to roll away from Lindelof. He cuts it back. And in the end, it was Dallo who was tucked in just to try and feed it away towards the feet of Fernandez. Lindelof's first goal, incidentally, since he scored against Leeds United in December 2020. It's a bit of a collector's item as well. It's only his fourth goal for the club, and they've all been at Old Trafford. Hoyland towards Rashford, back out on the right, operating towards Hoyland. Hoyland fires over the cross, blocked, out of play, it will go for a throw. But you could feel the relief of that goal, couldn't you?
Oh, huge relief. You know, being on the pitch, the supporters as well, the atmosphere all around, but it was a nervy moment. It was getting worse, but that pressure, that shot right across, Luton all just sort of too deep, and then he just steps on and caresses it home, and now Manchester United could be more comfortable. Luton will have to come out, which is going to suit them more.
Just over an hour played here at Old Trafford. 5 Live, the World Service and BBC Sounds, where the home team lead by 1-0. Arsenal are back in front. Everton are still leading. Wolves earlier beat Spurs by 2-1. 28 minutes remain. Commentary coming up at 5:30. Bournemouth against Newcastle United. We'll get the team news, I reckon, in about 10 minutes' time from Conor McNamara. He'll be working with Glenn Murray to bring you that commentary after Sports Report. Mount towards McTominay. Dallo feeds it out wide, right corner of the area. Rashford, Dallo now on the overlap, not utilised. Rashford dances around the ball, tries to dart in between two Luton players. Benny brings it away now for Luton Town. He's got Doughty going on ahead of him. Here is Doughty, but McTominay goes into the sliding challenge and wins that ball out of play. It goes for a throw.
Yeah, great desire, determination from the midfield player McTominay, going all the way, thinking, I'm going to win this race, as he just sweeps the ball out the way of Doughty, but it was a promising attack. Rashford again causing a bit of groans, didn't get through, give the ball away. Expect him to be a little bit tighter in possession than he has been so far in the game.
If you actually look at Manchester United's victories that they've achieved in the Premier League so far this season, all of them have been by a 1-goal margin.
Well, you just need to get a result. This is the one today. You feel like anything other than a win, it'd be a huge disaster for this football club. Questions will be asked, but we've seen Andros Townsend. He was getting busy, he was playing and around. He's gone off. He's probably saving himself for the Monday night club, don't know. Yeah,
he'll be refreshed for Mark Chapman and co on Monday night as a result. Doughty floats over the ball from the left corner of the area. Chong, Townsend's replacement, down into the ground it goes, and that bouncing ball gathered in by Onana. As you say, they needed the win. You could feel the importance of it, but particularly when you look at the fixtures after the international break for Manchester United. Everton away, Galatasaray away, Newcastle away, before they entertain Chelsea here on the 6th of December. Their next home game.
Yeah, some huge games, the Champions League as well, so some pressure's on. Because it's Luton as well, it was heightened, wasn't it, this game today, but you know it'll get nervy if they don't get a second right towards the end of the game. They really, really need to kick on. We've seen a slight elbow there, referee on top of it.
Well, Chong protests. The referee, Graham Scott, had a good view of it. Reguilon, bearing in mind he went to ground very, very quickly, has got up very, very equally as promptly back to his feet. Doesn't appear to be a little bit of a mark. He's saying, look, but there's not anything on him. There's no mark at all on Reguilon.
I mean, yes, he's got a hand in the face, but let's be fair, Deno, it wasn't that bad, was it?
No, it definitely wasn't. Derby 3, Barnsley 0, playback underway. To Crystal Palace, Everton, Chris Coles.
Crystal Palace so close to an equaliser, denied by an excellent Jordan Pickford save. It came from an Everton error. Mikalenko and Tarkowski getting each other's way. It came off Tarkowski. Pickford just about saves it. Still Everton in front by 2-1.
Mount gave the ball away, but he redeemed himself by dispossessing Obeni. Now Fernandez tries to wriggle clear of Lockyer, but Lockyer on the edge of that centre circle on the halfway line wins it and continues to run forward with the ball at his feet for Luton Town, who are only trailing by a goal to nil. 65 minutes played. No other goals to tell you about elsewhere around the country, as Nakamba finds Barkley. Time to look over his right shoulder. Passes the ball square towards Lockyer, and Nakamba now will feed it towards Barkley once again outside the centre circle of the Manchester United half. And then Manchester United have got every red shirt back behind the ball. So we've heard from South London. What about North London? John Southall.
63 minutes played. Arsenal 2, Burnley 1. That second goal from Saliba, but James Trafford in the Burnley goal will not want to see that again. Should have done better. Arsenal 2, Burnley 1.
Ball goes long, off the chest by Obeni, tries to roll away, pulls it back towards Morris. Morris can't get the shot clear because Mount came in with a challenge, but it still hasn't been dealt with. Now this is Barkley with an effort, right-footed, off-target goal kick. Michael Brown, United still lead 1-0.
Yeah, great response from Luton. They're putting the pressure on Manchester United. It's a big chance. Ross Barkley, he's got great talent, great ability. You fancy him when he gets into key areas, sort of just outside the penalty box, pushes it onto his right foot, tries to be too precise, just leans back, but always going over the bar. It's a poor one for him with his quality that he couldn't hit the target.
Swindon Town lead the League 2 leaders Stockport County by 2-1. News from Ellen Ellard.
Yeah, and it is an incredible goal as well. Seydou Khan dancing free of the Stockport defence to send a lovely ball into the area. Jake Young picks it up, pirouettes and hits it on the volley into the back of the net, and Swindon Town lead here by 2-1.
Straight to Southampton, goal, Becky Ives.
Equaliser for West Bromwich Albion. Southampton 1, West Brom 0. Kyle Bartley, to be fair, the ball fell kindly to him at his feet. An initial shot hit the crossbar, fell to his feet, tapped it in. Southampton 1, West Brom 1.
Garnacho is going to be coming off. Anthony is stripped and ready for action here at Old Trafford, so this must be the last involvement for Garnacho as he wins Manchester United a corner kick as they lead by 1-0. Will the change happen now, or will they let the corner kick be taken? Eric Ten Hag is there. The change will happen. It means we can go to the rugby union. James Burridge.
And the lead keeps swinging back and forth. Harlequins now back in front, 24-22. Will Porter, the scrum half, catching Leicester's defence asleep. Marcus Smith with the conversion, 24-22 to Harlequins.
We'll bring you as much live reaction we can in Sports Report before our next commentary from Bournemouth as Garnacho comes down the touchline. Some of the main stand giving him an ovation as the young Argentine international has worked hard. Anthony comes on to replace him, which means that Marcus Rashford once again makes another switch back out to this near side, the left, as Anthony operates on the right. Corner kick by Fernandez for United, deep, headed out on that far side by Barkley. Out of play, it goes for a throw. Midway through the second half, 1-0 to the home team.
Yeah, the pressure's on there. They've got to be a better quality from those set pieces. Keep talking about that at this level. Manchester United have really got to push on. So, you know, Luton, as you've mentioned before, that work rate, that desire, they keep going right till the end. They're loving life in the Premier League, and now I'd have to make sure there's no late sort of drama in this game, and they can see off the game very, very comfortably.
Although it is worth repeating that only Arsenal and Liverpool have scored more goals in the Premier League this season than Luton Town in the last 15 minutes of games. They've scored 7 so far in that final quarter of an hour. Wimbledon 2, Doncaster Rovers 0 is the latest score in League 2. So Manchester United might well just require that second goal.
They'll know that as well. Manchester United will be aware of it as well. That'll have been flagged up, and the detail would have been given to the players that they have to be more clinical, don't give them any opportunity. But for a Luton perspective, they'll grow in confidence, they'll make some substitutions, and they just need to stay in it and know they'll create a chance.
Lindelof steps out of defence, tries to get it towards Hoyland. There's no room for him down the left-hand side of the penalty area. And now the bushy-haired figure of Chong will bring the ball clear for Luton Town. He just had his heels clipped, I thought, by Lindelof. The referee, though, says no. Chong complains. Meanwhile, Manchester United can come forward with a substitute, Anthony. Direct run by Anthony. Slides it in towards Rashford. Rashford steadies himself. Kaminsky makes the save.
Right, straight at him as well, wasn't it? What a chance for Rashford. Obviously, there might have been a foul in the build-up. Luton certainly said there would have been, but Rashford gets all the space. Comes in on that right foot, but straight the goalkeeper. But Luton just keep coming.
Here now is O'Benny, tees it up. Barkley can't get the shot away. Actually, the ball wouldn't go. Oh, that was a clumsy foul by Reguilon on the back of Chong. It was a shuddering challenge on the back of the former Manchester United player, and this gives Luton Town a direct free kick just outside the D as they trail by a goal to nil.
It was a poor decision, Deno. Chong knows it's coming, reacts, falls forward. Ross Barkley almost had the space to get his shot away. See, when you see it back, a little bit of contact in the back. He just looks so tired, and Ross Barkley, he couldn't really get it out of his feet. But just going back to the Rashford chance, he's seen him much more clinical over the last few seasons when he gets into these positions on that left-hand side, on the right foot, just side foots it, tries to open it to the far corner, but a comfortable one for the goalkeeper. But this is a big chance now on the edge of the area.
Leyton Orient is staging a fight back in League One. Leyton Orient 2, Oxford United 3. Maybe it was just because of that mop of hair of Chong's that it maybe looked like it had exaggerated. Don't worry, I've forgotten what that feeling would look like when the hair goes here, there and everywhere. But that's why I thought it was a shuddering challenge, because it went forward, then it went back.
This is a big moment in the game, this. You see Doherty down having treatment, just taking the time. Lockyer over the ball, Barkley just seeing just outside the edge of the area, just right of centre. This is a big chance. Got to make sure the target, Manchester United, trying to get that wall right. I think they're just, for a Luton point, they just need to get a few just in front of Onana, just to try and sort of just deflect the situation, put that pressure on.
Wrexham 2, Gillingham 0 is the latest score in League 2. Motherwell 0, Hearts 2 is the latest score in the Scottish Premiership. Luton Town, I think, are going to have to be making a change. Doughty's unable to continue. So whilst this change happens, we'll go to Arsenal. John Southall.
Arsenal 2, Burnley 1. Declan Rice running onto the ball 20 yards out, struck it really well, but just wide of the right hand post. Arsenal 2, Burnley 1.
Michael Brown is very pleased with himself, but I'm yet to show one post from our little photo that we had together on social media, likened him to a young Roger Daltrey in the 70s, as we're going to see the change coming on, and it is going to be Jordan Clark who's going to be coming on. Let's get an update from Chris Coles.
Crystal Palace 1, Everton 2, another big Palace chance. Jefferson Lerma, edge of the area, went for the side foot, placed it just wide. Michael Olise on for Palace for his first appearance of the season. Palace 1, Everton 2.
So Jordan Clark comes on, popular figure for a player who was signed on a free from Accrington 3 years ago. St Johnstone lead Ross County by a goal to nil. Made over 100 appearances for the club has Jordan Clark, and his name is being sung by the travelling support. Now, as you say, Michael Brown, this is a moment for Luton.
Does it look like he's moved it further away?
Yes, he
does.
Ross
Barkley, because he wants to get that trajectory to get over and under. Has he snuck a bit of space there for himself?
Taking it back away from the penalty area, I think he has. Barkley with the free kick, right-footed, into the wall. Still looking for an equaliser, comes back to Barkley, might try again. He's got Chong as available on the right-hand side as an option. Instead, with the outside of his right boot, carves the ball towards Marvellous Nakamba, forward of the centre circle. Manchester United have every red shirt back behind the ball. Kabore with time to pick his spot, goes with a long diagonal ball. A leaping Lindelof heads it away. Rashford was caught by Kabore. He's gone down holding his head, and there might well be a yellow card here for the Luton Town player as Manchester United lead 1-0. 16 minutes remaining. Next up after Sports Report, commentary from Bournemouth. Team News Conor McNamara.
tomorrow. And Bournemouth make 5 changes from their last game, the 6-1 defeat at Manchester City, including the return of the Brazilian goalkeeper Neto today. 3 changes for Newcastle from their last league game, the win over Arsenal. There's no Callum Wilson, who hasn't travelled to face his old club. There's a first Premier League start for Lewis Miley in midfield.
Glenn Murray alongside Connor for commentary of that. Another goal at Swindon. Ellen Ellard.
The league leaders have equalised once again. Swindon Town 2, Stockport 2. Ibo Toure with the cross, and Wootton was there to head in at the near post. All level here again.
And Millwall have got a 4th at Sheffield Wednesday. Sheffield Wednesday, bottom of the Championship, nil. Millwall getting their first win in 6 and off to a winning start under Joe Edwards. And Tranmere Rovers 3, Forest Green 0. They have lost their last 4, but during the week Nigel Adkins was actually named as their permanent manager, and he's seen them return to winning ways at Prenton Park. 3-0 that they lead against the 10 men of Forest Green. Back underway, quarter of an hour remains. It's Manchester United 1, Luton Town 0. Hasn't been necessarily straightforward for Eric Ten Hag's side today. What about the League One leaders, Portsmouth? Chris Wise.
Well, the away side have equalised here, so it's now Portsmouth 1, Charlton 1, 20 minutes to go. Alfie May, Charlton's leading scorer, squeezing it in at the near post against the run of play too. Portsmouth 1, Charlton 1.
Reguilon has done ever so well to keep that ball in play on the left-hand side. It looked like a lost cause. And then the ball has been skied over the top by Bruno Fernandes. Must have taken the deflection. Corner kick to United.
Yeah, it did. John Clark got back in. So Fernandes just sees the sight of goal. But it's a ball that's really difficult. Reguilon, Rashford plays it inside and thinking it's gone out. Slides, just makes it. Was a tight on the line. Just a little bit of an over from Anthony. Good recovery runs, but another big chance for Manchester United when it looked like it was going to go out of play. But we're starting to see some injuries, aren't we, now on the pitch as the game opens up.
That's Højlund, who sat down at the moment for Manchester United on the edge of the penalty area. He's back to his feet. Goal at Arsenal, John Southall.
A third for Arsenal. Arsenal 3, Burnley 1. Surely that's all over. It came from a corner again. Burnley just can't deal with them. And it was a scissor kick by Zinchenko. Arsenal 3, Burnley 1.
Corner kick then for Manchester United. Fernandes, he takes it short to Rashford, near side the left. Rashford rolls it to Dalot. Dalot fires the ball in. It's a curling ball claimed by Kaminski. Goal at Ipswich, Flo Pollock.
Not a goal, Deno, but a red card. Ipswich 3, Swansea 1 still, but there's been a red card for Liam Cullen. Second yellow for pulling down a player as they were going through. It's not looking good for Swansea as it stands. Ipswich 3, Swansea 1.
It gets to that stage of the afternoon, Flo, where we're a little frazzled. But there has been developments at Crystal Palace. Chris Cole.
Where Crystal Palace have equalised. It had been coming. Odsonne Edouard with it. Ball into the box. Everton failed to deal with it. And Edouard marginally onside. Just gets there before Pickford to flick in. Palace 2, Everton 2.
And it's going to get even more frenetic on 5 Live as we're going to rattle through the scores very, very soon. But it opens up here for Kabore, surges into the penalty area, pulls it back. Morris can't control it. They're appealing for handball. The Luton Town supporters more than the players. Michael Brown.
It's a brilliant bit of play down this right-hand side. Rashford just gets nutmegged, doesn't go with the runner. And they're almost in again. The recovery runs, Manchester United are on the heels. This can't happen yet again to Manchester United. Højlund's gone down yet again. We might see Martial coming on and replacing him, but just waiting to see if they're going to kick it out. Obviously, it's fell down, so the game will stop. But again, a great opportunity, great little work down the right-hand side, but it just didn't fall for Luton. But Manchester United need to make sure recovery runs, desire to get back, they've got to be so much better.
Martial is going to come on to replace Højlund. They'll hope that that's not a serious one at the moment on the injury front, because they are starting to tot up a little bit for Manchester United. Of course, they will be grateful of the international break, but Højlund is getting treatment. Varane is also going to be coming on, so it's going to be a double change being made by the home side with just over 12 minutes remaining. So Raphael Varane is going to be coming on. Højlund is going to be coming off. Martial replaces him, and then we wait to see who the other change is going to be, and it's going to be Reguilon who's going to be coming off for Raphael Varane. Motherwell have got a goal back in the Scottish Premiership. Motherwell 1, Hearts 2 is the latest score, and Wimbledon are down to 10 men in League 2 as Varane comes on, as does Martial. Manchester United still lead 1-0, and Højlund still can't score in the Premier League. Wimbledon, incidentally, still leading 2-0 at home to Doncaster Rovers. Another goal at the county ground. Ellen Ellard.
Yeah, what a game this is. Swindon Town 2, Stockport County 3. Stockport in the lead for the first time this game. Odin Bailey with his first league goal of the season, an absolute corker from the edge of the area. Stockport County lead here by 3-2.
Back underway here at Old Trafford with just over 10 minutes remaining. Northampton 2, Burton 0 is the latest score in League One. We're going to go through the scores. We'll start off in the Scottish Premiership, but meanwhile in our featured game in League One, as Barkley comes surging forward for Luton Town looking for an equaliser. Clark passes the ball out towards that left-hand side. Well, Benny looking to try and deliver the cross. He does so. It's a deep one, chested back very, very comfortably by Lindelof. A goal at Fratton Park. Chris Wise.
That Charlton parity didn't last long. Portsmouth lead 2-1. Paddy Lane cleared out by Ashley Maynard Brewer, the Charlton goalkeeper. Colby Bishop, Pompey's leading scorer, took the penalty, scored it. 2-1 Pompey. And
Bolton, who are chasing down the League One leaders Portsmouth, they've won their last 4, have taken the lead at home to Blackpool. Bolton Wanderers 1, Blackpool 0. Latest scores in the Scottish Premiership: Dundee 3, St Mirren 0. At Easter Road, Hibs 1, Kilmarnock 0. Motherwell 1, Hearts 2 that we told you about, and still at McDermott Park, St Johnstone leading Ross County by a 0-0. League 2, League 1 and the Championship to follow. But there's been a goal in the Championship at St Mary's. Becky Ives.
Adam Armstrong has put Southampton 2-1 ahead against West Brom. Cross came over, found herself free at the back post, tucked it away. Southampton 2, West Brom 1.
10 minutes remain of normal time here at Old Trafford. Arsenal 3, Burnley 1, Crystal Palace 2, Everton 2. Manchester United lead by a 0-0. As Bristol Rovers still leading at Carlisle United by a 0-0, but they're down to 10 men. Fernandes takes it neatly into feet with the cross from the right hand side. Look towards Mason Mount, diving in was Lockyer, steers it behind for a corner kick to the home team.
Yeah, Anthony drives inside, plays the ball quickly, and Fernandes a wonderful touch into the penalty area. Tries to just see the space, put the ball across. Good defending near post. I thought he could have maybe just hung it up. Again, Manchester United still asking questions. He's normally a little bit better with those, Bruno Fernandes.
Should be an out-swinging corner from that far side, the right. Red shirts attacking the Stretford end, playing from right to left. It is Bruno Fernandes. It is an out-swinger, headed away well by Morris on defensive duties. Dallow heads it across towards Anthony. It rides up the thigh and then out towards Bruno Fernandes with the cross, and then the header from McTominay. Kaminski makes the save. Away to his left, behind for a corner kick.
Yeah, he's just on his toes, waiting for that delivery. It's deep cross, and he tacks it really well, McTominay. Directs the ball down into that left-hand corner. Good save, parried it away to the left-hand side for that corner kick, but McTominay's getting in and around opportunities, isn't he? Last month or so with goals and chances. It's all about that desire making the box.
Fernandes doesn't beat the first man for the first corner kick. It goes back in again, and then Mount helps it on its way with a cross gathered by Kaminski. Crawley 3, Accrington 1, and Accrington are down to 10 men in that game, where they're trailing 3-1. The other latest scores in League 2, incidentally, which I'll tell you about now: Wimbledon 2, Doncaster 0. Wimbledon have had a man sent off. Bradford City 1, Barrow 1. Colchester 0, Sutton 0. As Manchester United come forward with Anthony running to the edge of the area, enters the box now, looking to try and cut into his left foot. He's dispossessed. So inside the penalty area at Luton, get the ball away. Crewe 0, Notts County 0, Grimsby 3, Morecambe 1, Newport 0, MK Dons 0, Salford 1, Mansfield Town 2. Mansfield still unbeaten, as are Portsmouth, as we mentioned earlier. Swindon 2, Stockport County 3, the leaders. Dave Challonor's side looking to make it 11 wins on the spin. Tranmere 3, the 10 men of Forest Green 0, Walsall 0, Harrogate 0, and Wrexham will go 11 unbeaten as they lead Gillingham by 2-0. League 1 and the Championship to come. 5 Live here in the World Service. Kabore coming forward, Luton looking for an equaliser. Sliding across was Lindelof, who's now filling in at left back.
He is, and that's what I was just going to obviously point out. He brought on Varane, Reguilon goes off, he moves all the defence for that particular change. Lindelof shuffling to left back, Maguire shifting to the left centre back, Varane coming on right side. What was the reason for that? Why did he feel like he needed to do it? There was a couple of opportunities between Reguilon and Rashford where Luton looked like they were getting in those spaces. That might be why, but good recovery run there by Lindelof.
This game still not put to bed by Manchester United. Chong able to turn, feeds it to Kabore. Level with the penalty area on the right hand side. Kabore looks towards the cross and right-footed drifts wide. Out of play it goes for a goal kick. Manchester United lead 1-0. Deadlock broken at the Riverside in the Championship. Lee Blakeman.
Goal for Middlesbrough, and what a strike from Sam Greenwood. Free kick 27 yards out, dead centre, up and over, top corner. Leicester heading for their first away league defeat. Middlesbrough 1, Leicester 0.
Yeah, they've won all 7 on their travels. Middlesbrough, though, really are going well after a slow start to the season. They've only lost 1 of their last 9. Colchester leads Sutton by 1-0 in League 2. It's a goal kick to Manchester United, so this are the latest scores in League 1. The result earlier was Peterborough 5, Cambridge 0 in the early game. Latest scores: Bolton 1, Blackpool 0. Carlisle 0, the 10 men of Bristol Rovers 1. Cheltenham 1, Wigan 1. Derby County lead Barnsley by 3-0. That'll be the first defeat for Barnsley away from home this season. Fleetwood 3, Exeter 0. Leyton Orient 2, Oxford United 3. Both Lincoln and Port Vale have had a man sent off. It's Lincoln City 0, Port Vale 1. Northampton 2, Burton 0. Portsmouth, the leaders, lead Charlton Athletic by 2-1. Reading, who away from home have lost all 7 in League 1, are leading at Shrewsbury by 2-1, and it's Wycombe 0, Stevenage 1. This is 5 Live. 6 minutes remain. Luton Town in possession on the halfway line. Michael Brown.
Yeah, Luton are just trying to move it around. Manchester United just sat in now. Will there be a late sort of change in this game? Are we going to see some drama? Luton are not giving up. They're pushing them all the way. We've seen forward runs now from Lockyer. Going to go a little bit more direct, Deno, but again, Manchester United should have done more. They shouldn't be in this situation. And again, we're looking like we could see 3 substitutions. Luton saying, right, we're going to have a really good big go at the end of this game.
Well, they've got nothing to lose in that respect, have they? They've got Mpanzu, who's going to be coming on, Ryan Giles, who's going to be coming on, and then the other change is going to be Adebayo. And for Mpanzu as well, I mean, Luton Town's story as a club is a remarkable one. The fact that they've come all the way through from the National League, all the way back through the divisions back to the top flight. But for Pele Mpanzu, 10 years ago this month, he was making his Luton Town debut against Staines in the FA Trophy. And here he is in the top flight of English football. He's approaching 400 games for the club, and he's playing at Old Trafford. Goal at Dundee, meanwhile, Gavin Wallace.
Yep, Dundee now 4 up with only a minute or so to play. It was a fantastic counter-attack. Zach Robinson is just off the bench to score. Luke McCowan was 1-on-1. He just sprayed it a little bit wide, and all he had to do then was stick it beyond. Dundee 4, St Mirren 0.
Adebayo's come on for Morris. Ryan Giles has replaced O'Benny, and Mpanzu has come on to replace Marvellous Nakamba. 4 minutes remain of normal time. Red card at Arsenal. John Southall.
Arsenal down to 10 men. Arsenal 3, Burnley 1. Fabio Vieira has been sent off for Arsenal. Challenge on Josh Brownhill. He lunged in, studs up, straight red card. Arsenal 3, Burnley 1.
Cross for the free kick. Barkley. In fact, it wasn't Morris who went off for Adebayo, was it? As the ball goes back to Barkley. Manchester United had everybody back dealing that ball in for that free kick. Morris is still wanting the ball. Adebayo has gone up alongside him, so Luton are going to give it a go inside the last 3.5 minutes. Here is Chong, free kick against Morris on Lindelof. Here are the latest scores in the Championship. The result, of course, was Sunderland 3, Birmingham 1 from the early game. Birmingham without a win in 5 since Wayne Rooney took charge. Cardiff City 2, Norwich City 1. Coventry 0, Stoke 0. Hull and Huddersfield's goalless. Ipswich have come from behind to lead the 10 men of Swansea by 3-1. Leeds United 2, Plymouth 0 is the latest score at Ellen Road. Middlesbrough leading Leicester by 1-0. Queen's Park Rangers 0, Bristol City 0. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Millwall 4. Southampton 2, West Bromwich Albion 1. The Saints will go unbeaten in 8. And Watford are leading Rotherham United 3-0. They'll be 6 unbeaten after that scoreline at Vicarage Road. Michael Brown, United have a corner kick.
Yeah, Jordan Clark just tries to head the ball back. It's really, really poor from him. He tries to head it back to his goalkeeper, sort of just misses it, goes out for a corner kick to give Manchester United an opportunity.
Fernandez to take it on the near side, punched away by Kaminski, drops on the edge of the area. Mount tees up the effort there from Dallow, who fell onto the floor as he hit a right-footed volley over the crossbar and into the Stretford end. Barrow are back in front at Valley Parade. Bradford City 1, Barrow 2. Dundee 4, St Mirren 0 is the latest score in the Scottish Premiership. Grimsby 3, Morecambe 2, and Plymouth have just got a goal back at Ellen Road. Leeds United 2, Plymouth 1. You're up to date with the goals as they go in. And it was Kabore who was the player who went off for Adebayo, just to tidy up that triple change that has been made by Rob Edwards. A goal in the Championship. It's at Cardiff. Molly Stevens.
It is, and Norwich with the equaliser. It looked like Fasnacht, but we're just waiting for some confirmation here. I mean, they've been knocking on the door, Norwich, so all credit to them. This goal was coming. Cardiff 2, Norwich 2.
Rashford feeds the ball into Mount with the cut back, and it's turned behind for a corner kick. There's been a late goal at Selhurst Park. Chris Coles.
And it's come for Everton with 5 minutes to play. They lead Crystal Palace by 3 goals to 2. Second half sub Idrissa Gueye latching onto a through ball. Cool finish into the bottom corner, and it's Crystal Palace 2, Everton 3.
That'll be without a win in 4 home games for Crystal Palace since early September, as Everton will go 4 unbeaten. They lead 3-2. Arsenal lead Burnley 3-1. Manchester United corner kick headed out by Morris for Luton Town. Cushion header by Mount, goes back to Dallow. He switches play back out towards Rashford, collects it on this near side, the left. Cross now comes in and cleared away by Luton Town's defence. We're inside the last 60 seconds. News of that Plymouth goal from Sarah Mulkerrins at Ellen Road.
Yeah, there is a quiet from these home fans at Ellen Road because it is Leeds 2, Plymouth Argyle 1. Really nicely worked goal from the visitors. Luke Cundall with a great run down on the right hand side, cuts it across to Ben Waine in the area, just slots it home. It's Leeds 2, Argyle 1.
Another goal at Cardiff, Molly Stevens.
Norwich have the lead 3-1 against Cardiff City. Adam Ida with a simple, cool shot into the back of the net, and some earlier confirmation. A Ryan Wintle own goal for Cardiff, that earlier goal for Norwich. 2 goals in as many minutes. It's Cardiff 2, Norwich 3.
Thank you, Molly. We're going to find out how much added on time there will be. 8 minutes, a minimum of 8 minutes, as Manchester United still lead by a goal to 0. As the ball is tidied up at the back by Mengi towards Kaminski. Headed back by Lindelof. The unlikely match winner for Manchester United. Adebayo for Luton Town, still playing with spirit. Chong, square ball. It's going to run through to Mpanzu. Feeds it now out towards that far side of the Bescott Stadium. A late goal for Simon Weaver's Harrogate Town. 1-0, Walsall 0, Harrogate 1. Might well be a nervy finish here, Michael Brown.
Well, especially when that amount of added time goes on. Luton are moving the ball. You can hear the supporters trying to G them on, trying to get them to areas. Manchester United are hanging on. Seen a half opportunity for Mason Mount, but it's Luton who are having all the play.
Osho guides it out towards Giles, back towards Osho once again. Giles, one of the substitutes for Luton, far side the left, level with the penalty area. Now it's with Mpanzu, 30 yards out from goal. Barkley lets it come across his body, shields the ball with his back to Bruno Fernandes, but he's forced back towards the centre circle with the first minute of those minimum of 8 to be added on here. As now Maguire charges out of defence for Manchester United. Done that on a number of occasions here today. And then Rashford slows it down and plays it back towards Onana. Commentary to come after Sports Report. Bournemouth against Newcastle United at 5:30, to be followed by 6:06 with Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage. 5 Live Premier League Sunday from midday. We'll have Liverpool Brentford at 2 and Chelsea Manchester City at 4:30. Villa Fulham is at 2 o'clock on Sports Extra. Brighton Sheffield United and West Ham Forest both at 2 o'clock. We'll both have commentary online. Watford 4, Rotherham 0 is the latest score in the Championship. Michael.
Yeah, not convincing from Manchester United. Rashford there just clipping it in. Martial losing it, but it opens up now.
Rashford charging forward, checked by Lockyer, and that will result, I think, in a yellow card for Lockyer, and indeed it does from referee Graham Scott. No attempt to play the ball and a free kick for Manchester United.
It's not the first time in the whole game that I've seen Rashford drive at somebody. The space has been there for him and got into areas and had chances. But when he does that, he's unstoppable at times for me. When he runs with pace and power, determination, you can see straight away, draws that foul. Really, really good play. Now a great position. They've got really, really top people, haven't they, with special free kicks in these key areas, and I bet you it's close, this one.
I received a text at half-time from a scout who's been here watching the game today, and he said Rashford needs to get more central, needs to combine and test the central defenders a little bit more. First time he does that, he gets a free kick.
And what did you reply back with? Yes, I agree with your knowledge.
I will reply saying I've just used your info.
Okay.
In the 5 Live commentary. It's a free kick to Manchester United, who lead by a goal to 0.
Does he go right through Maguire here? You can see that line, Maguire just blocking the goalkeeper's viewpoint. He hits it so well anyway. I just think go that far post, just go for it, test the goalkeeper.
Well, Fernandes is going to come at it from the left of the ball, hit it right-footed, but with an immediate straight run-up is Rashford. But it is Fernandes, and he's got too much underneath it, didn't get the curl, over the top. Still 1-0 to Manchester United.
It was the area I meant, but it didn't need to be in that direction, sort of 10 foot over the bar. I mean, generally he really gets things on point, but he'd be disappointed. But now it's the end of this game, 5 minutes or so to go. Can Luton create a chance?
A 6th goal of the afternoon at Swindon. Ellen Ellard.
Yeah, Stockport extend their lead here. Swindon Town 2, Stockport 4, Ryan Crowsdale. It was a lovely built-up, team build-up goal. He threaded the ball through to Callum Camps, who 6 yards out, tapped home. And the league leaders will continue their unbeaten run.
11 straight wins. They're absolutely flying under Dave Challenor. Maguire has gone down, holding his face here. Didn't see if he was caught by a trailing leg by Chong.
Listen,
the fact that you're smiling.
No, I'm laughing. Harry, come on, get yourself up. We know what you're doing. Adebayo there just catches him. He exaggerates the foul. He did get fouled, falls forward. Sure, it'll be okay, but just kill a little bit of time. Just trying to stop the momentum that Luton are trying to create. And you know, it's a nervy ending. You would never have said, would you, Manchester United are going to be here with a nervy ending, holding on against Luton Town.
They did run the risk of suffering 3 straight defeats at Old Trafford in all competitions since 1962, as Eric Ten Hag has just been shown a yellow card. Full time at Dens Park. Gavin Wallace.
Yeah, Dundee 4, St Mirren 0. Dundee up to 5th in the league now. A double, a brace from Amadou Bakayoko. Zach Rudden with a penalty, and Zach Robinson, the former AFC Wimbledon striker, putting the icing on the cake. Dundee 4, St Mirren 0.
Martial wins the ball, cuts it back from the corner flag area down by the tunnel on this near side. The left for the home team, still leading by 1-0. Martial actually coming back onto the side of the pitch, almost was able to take it away off the toes of Mengi, and then Morris gives away a free kick to the home side. Full time in the Championship at the Riverside. Lee Blakeman.
Middlesbrough 1, Leicester 0. Leicester dropping points away from home for the first time all season. The goal fit enough to win any game. Sam Greenwood, free kick, 27 yards out into the top corner. Borough 1, Leicester 0.
Said that Reading had lost all 7 away from home in League One. They still can't win. They were 2-0 up, but Shrewsbury have got an injury time equaliser. Shrewsbury 2, Reading 2 is the latest score. As the ball goes long with this free kick. Varane, downward header. And Osho will clear for Luton Town, only as far as McTominay. Back out it goes towards Mason Mount, keeps the ball in play on that far side, the right. Lincoln have got an injury time equaliser at home to Port Vale. Lincoln 1, Port Vale 1. Hull have got a late winner in the Championship against Huddersfield Town. Hull City 1, Huddersfield 0. Huddersfield only 1 win in 9 before today. As Manchester United with McTominay to Anthony. Anthony curls the ball inside. Fernandes, central position. He's got runners off the ball, but he can't find either of them. Anthony or Martial, and now Luton Town get it up to Adebayo. Maguire, well, I thought was a very good challenge on the halfway line, but he's been penalised.
It's a foul, Deno, surely it's a foul. Maguire comes across, catches him on the body, but you know what, Manchester United, they're creating these problems for themselves. They're really nowhere near good enough keeping the ball. Key areas there, Anthony, Mason Mount. Just keep the ball. This is Manchester United. Don't give them any chance. Real high line now. They've got to defend this set piece.
I've seen it again and you're right, but I knew that as soon as you went, it's a foul. If Michael Brown's saying it's a foul, then it's a foul. Shot comes in from distance, and it was easily gathered in by Onana to keep that effort from Ted Mengi. It was a low left-footed effort that was comfortably saved. A late goal at Fratton Park. Chris Wise.
The league leaders have been pegged back. Charlton have equalised. It's 2-2. Conor McGrandle somehow squirming the ball in at the near post. Will Norris, the Pompey goalkeeper, will not be happy. Pompey 2, Charlton 2.
By my watch, 20 seconds remain. Manchester United still lead by 1-0. It's going to be a much needed win as Rashford cuts forward and into the penalty area and looks for the cutback there of Anthony, but the flag was raised on that far side. It must have gone out of play. Colchester 1, Sutton 1. So Sutton have equalised at Colchester in League 2. Don't forget, Sports Report with Mark Chapman. The results and the reaction coming up. As much live reaction as possible. Anything that you miss, we'll squeeze it into the 5 Live Football Daily podcast. Bournemouth, Newcastle to follow at 5:30, 6:06 after that, and 5 games are live tomorrow. But here, with Luton Town desperate to try and get the ball forward, it's going to go long. They've been awarded a free kick. It's 6 yards inside the Manchester United half. Barkley tosses it forward. Manchester United have got a high line. The white shirts are flooding forward now. Now or never for Luton Town to stop this losing run at Old Trafford. Can they pick up a precious point? Barkley hits it forward, diagonal ball, drops inside the penalty area. Lockyer is there, Lockyer can't turn, pulls it back to the edge of the area. Fernandes will shield it away from Mpanzu, and there is the final whistle. Much relief and a much needed win for Manchester United. All 7 of their Premier League victories this season have been by a 1-goal margin, as this one against a very spirited Luton Town. Michael Brown.
Well, they certainly got the job done, but very, very nervy at the end. Luton, full credit to them. They pushed Manchester United all the way. You could tell there was nervous tension all around Old Trafford. They would have certainly took any win at the start of this game, because everybody felt that this Luton Town team could get a result with the way Manchester United have been, but they managed to do it. There was some signs, they've created some chances, but they've got to get much tighter, much better in possession to create confidence, to get this sort of negativity all away from Old Trafford. But full credit to Luton. Manchester United got the job done.
And I mentioned that Reading have lost every game away in League 1. They were leading by 2-1, but incredibly they've thrown it away. Shrewsbury 3, Reading 2, Watford 5, Rotherham 0. But here in our commentary game at Old Trafford, it's finished through Lindelof's first goal since December 2020. Manchester United 1, Luton Town 0.
Yeah, they went into stoppage time ahead, did Reading, at Shrewsbury. And 2 goals in 6 minutes of injury time means Shrewsbury now lead by 3-2. The battle at the top of the National League has gone the way of Chesterfield. They lead Barnet by 4-1. And in the big game in League 2, Crewe against Notts County, there is a late penalty. Shojo Saka.
It is Crewe 0, Notts County.